What's up, y'all? It's your guy eBay Fight Predictions in the building. This is Fight Talk number 30. We got 30 of these hoes out, and this is a very special one. We're gonna try to make this a yearly thing. The year-end awards on Fight Talk. We're gonna have 3 big awards that we're gonna do. We're gonna do a top 5 form. Normally, like I would have made individual videos, but y'all know I'm in the retirement season. I'm in the nursing home season of YouTube. But it's your boy, and we're back, and we're here to talk about all UFC nonsense. But let me introduce the man, the myth, the legend, the UK gangster, Ed, my guy, my co-host. Say what's up to the people.
Hello.
Hello. What's up, bro?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So before we kind of get into the awards, there are some stuff we didn't really get to talk about for this year. I mean, obviously, we saw the last pay-per-view of the year. What did you kind of think of that?
10. Well, to be honest, the Pantoja Asakura fight, I'm going to start there.
Disgraceful, right?
To me, it was to my expectation. Like I saw this guy's highlights. I get why they signed him. He has like a big audience, and obviously that Far East market that the UFC have been trying to like get a hold of, and they no longer have TKZ and all the rest of it. I got why they signed him, but all I did was like I looked at his compilation and his fights, and I was like, well, half of those things he can't do in the UFC, so this will be interesting. And he can't grapple to save his life. And guess what? Pantoja is really good at doing, guys.
Yeah, bro. It's like it's ridiculous.
It's just one of those things where those guys who think they can like fight in a street, and then they come across a jiu-jitsu guy in a street fight, and then the second the jiu-jitsu guy gets a hold of them, he just strangles them. It was like one of those fights.
Yeah.
Like, you just saw like obviously he landed that knee, and then when he got immediately taken down, you just knew it was going one place. So it wasn't a compelling fight, but do you know what? Who at this point, like what Pantoja's done, who can you fucking give him really? Like it's just.
I think they're gonna do a title eliminator between Royval and Kape.
Yeah, well, Kape needs to make weight and shut the fuck up because he's doing a lot of talking.
Make
him wait and shut the fuck up. And the same thing with the Mokaev fight. He did all that talking. Obviously, the Mokaev was a bit of a dickhead, but he did all of that talking to fight the way he did as well. After all of that,
who they should really bring back is Mokaev. I feel like that's the fight to make. I think
we'll definitely talk about Mokaev later on because I've got some interesting things.
I think he's because it'll be interesting to see if his wrestling can like outlast Pantoja's jiu-jitsu. I think that would be interesting matchup.
Yeah, the other fight I was going to talk about was obviously the co-main Shavkat and Ian Gary.
You think he got exposed?
Huh?
Do you think Shavkat got exposed?
I think he got exposed, but I also wasn't surprised.
Yeah,
it's one of the things because you're given Ian Gary's frame and Wonder Boy's frame, and you've seen.
Yeah, Wonder Boy had success. Yeah,
certain moments of the fight where Wonder Boy was injured, and then you see him take him down and all the rest of it. But again, it's the same thing I've been saying. If Bilal Muhammad spends 3 or 5 minutes hugging someone against the fence, you'll never hear the fucking end of it. But guess what? Shavkat can fucking do it. But it's just one of those things. I saw him get exposed. I saw the things that Ian was able to really do that Leon's also really good at doing, which is against the fence, clinch striking, slick, straight shots. Which is why I've said, bias aside, I've never like really been troubled by the idea of Leon fighting him.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that.
But I'll tell you what, though, there's a loss in Ian Gary's record, but no, you can't lose any stock from that performance.
No, it was weird because like Shavkat, I felt like there was so much talk about their training, right? And I felt like when you watch their sparring, they were like just kind of like bouncing around and like feinting at each other. And that's kind of what they did in the first 2 rounds, if you watch it. And I was just in shock that Shavkat didn't try to get it into boxing range. It was kind of weird, like because I felt like anytime he did get there, he had some minor success. But I don't know if he was just scared of Ian's pullback counters or maybe just Ian's just was maybe had the slicker hands out of the two. But But when it was in kicking range, that's when I was like, oh, Shavkat's messing up, you know, because he was getting really like teed off on with the high kicks. Like Ian did a really good job of going high and low, you know, and I was
I felt that
yeah.
too. The teep was very good as well.
Yeah. Like he didn't he had a Shavkat guessing, and then Shavkat had to go to his grappling, and we all know Shavkat's grappling is very like it's more defensive based
Do
than
you think
offensive.
sometimes? Do you think sometimes when you spar with someone and you know you've had the better of them, when you go to an actual fight with them, the complacency get the better of you? The reason why I say this is because if you remember Bisping Rocco, the first fight,
Yeah,
in the lead up to that fight, Bisping made a joke about being like the unofficial Strikeforce champion,
yeah,
saying that he got the better of him in sparring. And obviously, that pissed Luke off.
yeah,
And like we all know, these guys are like very good athletes, but we all know once it gets into the cage, it's like little details and little percentages is the difference between winning and losing.
yeah,
So
and
that tad complacency could be the difference between
yeah,
you
no, for
losing
sure.
and winning the fight. And it goes the same for the rematch as well. Like even with Luke and Bisping, obviously the complacency coming in after he beat him the first time, you then come into it, and then you've got the first ever UK champ. Shout out Michael Bisping. But
Yeah. But you know, honestly, to go back to like the sparring question, I feel like sparring doesn't. It's hard to say it doesn't matter, but in the great words of Allen Iverson, we're talking about practice. You know what I'm saying? It's practice at the end of the day. So like, you don't know if someone's coming in there like really trying to like,
some guys are weird like that though. Did you see the Kopylov stuff about him sending these Russian boys over to Chris Curtis in Vegas?
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
you can learn some things from sparring, but like you can't it can't be the end all be all. Like you can't be like, oh, because I beat him in sparring, I'm gonna beat him in a real fight. It doesn't work like that. I swear, like I'm telling you, bro, like I've seen it more in wrestling where like some guys will get the better of another dude and like a you know in a wrestling practice, and then they'll go in like the live lights, the bright action, people there, and then intensity. You know what I'm saying? You don't it's just I don't know how to describe it, but when someone really wants to win, it's different compared to someone just
Definitely,
you know
there's
going.
a different feeling though. Adrenaline dump and all these other things factor in
Yeah, like
when you actually get into a cage.
yeah, I've seen it go wrong for so many guys that really live off of like sparring moments. Like I remember Cody Garbrandt, like when he fought TJ, like he kept talking about the sparring. I dropped him sparring all the time, you know. And then the first fight happened. And
this is what I'm saying. Like if you know you've got the better of someone in sparring, the complacency could kick in just before the fight, especially a fight with stakes like that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why, like, I remember so many people were talking about the sparring with Shavkat and Ian, and I'm like, yeah, like I know there were rumors that Ian got knocked out by Jason Jackson. Like I've heard stuff like that, but I was telling people like he's stylistically, this is like a
Bro,
really
he's been knocked out by half the welterweights on the fucking roster from what I've fucking heard.
yeah, like but like when you actually go watch perform,
even the noise the UK made about him, we basically fucking kicked his ass out of the UK for some of the shit he's been doing.
Yeah,
yeah. In terms of 310 as a whole, a lot of it went to my expectation. Obviously, that fight didn't go to my expectation. Like I did think Shavkat would win a decision, but I didn't think it would be that close.
Yeah,
but, like I said, fair play to Ian. He really gave a good showcase of himself. But like Kennedy at heavyweight, I've always said to you, like, if you're athletic, you're gonna have decent success at heavyweight.
Oh yeah, I think what's his name?
He looked good on his debut.
Yeah, what's his name? Ryan Spawn might like make a run, bro. Like you
yeah,
know,
but he ain't got the chin for it. But he definitely could knock schmucks out.
No, dude, he's gonna, bro. I swear to God, he might make like a top 5 run. Like, dude, don't be surprised.
Yeah, Chase Hooper again. He's looked phenomenal since he's gone to 55. Chiesa won. I'll let you have your 5 minutes of fame there.
Oh yeah, oh man, Michael the Maverick Chiesa is 2-0 this year. You know, it was very hard for me not to put him in fighter of the year.
Yeah, fucking Tony Ferguson as well, isn't it? That fight.
Fighter of the year discussion. Very, very hard for me not to do it, but yeah, yeah, that was UFC 310. Do you want to talk about UFC 309, Jones, Miocic, or no? Have you recovered or?
Bro, no, we're not talking about that. That didn't happen. That did not happen. So many things went wrong with that event. But I'm not even going to go into it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Joshua Van, obviously, they put him up against a vet in Cody Durden. He won that fight. That was a bit of a layup for him. Yeah. I thought Randy Brown beat Brian Battle, but it is what it is. That was one of those fights where it could have gone either way.
Yeah, I agree. Oh well, you know what? Let's bring it up. Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain
I
Sterling.
was so upset.
Let me give Aljo his flowers. I think this is a long time coming for the Aljo fan.
I'll go.
I'll go. Okay, I'll call him.
I'll
I'll
go.
go. He truly impressed me. It hurts me to admit this. As much as I've always wanted an American wrestler to humble one of these Dagestanis, I never wanted it to be Aljo. I never thought it was going to be Aljo. But my God, Aljo went out there and really showcased some elite level grappling. I was really impressed. Now, Movsar, I'm not gonna say like we haven't seen Movsar in that position before. Like if you go watch him fight Mike Grundy actually gave him a run for his money. But
The UK guy.
yeah, I remember that was a long time ago. But Aljo, he honestly, a guy coming from 135 and coming up, I give him his credit. He did really, really good. I think he kind of won it, but at the same time, he fucked it up. Like you remember, like Urshag, like when he lost,
he fucked it up the last 90 seconds of round 3.
yeah, like just losing position like that. It's just one of those weird things. Like it's like I remember Rashad Evans was really good at that, like getting the takedown at the last minute, and he would win rounds like that, right? Like he'd bank round. But like
That's what they back then. It was scored slightly different, but that's what guys like Josh Koscheck used to do, if I remember right. He used to just secure a takedown at the end of the round, and like recency bias always kicks in when judges are scoring a fight. Like a man can get his ass beat for 3 minutes on the feet, and then you secure a takedown and get you get some top control time for like a minute or a minute and a half, and then well, he ended the fight. He ended the round strong. We'll give him the round.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting to see that.
Yeah, Luke came back from his 2-year coma. Fucking hell, like just.
But I mean, it's
the joke.
Like, let's be fair.
Some of the tweets about him were mad. You know, someone said The Rock evicted him from that house he bought him.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's he's a weird individual, bro. Like, but yeah,
Reyes and Smith. Smith just didn't look like he wanted to be there, which made no sense.
I kind of felt bad for him.
He went into that fight. I think one of his friends passed away or something, and then he went in there all amped up. And then as soon as like the bell rang, it was kind of like, actually, what the fuck am I doing here? I don't want to be here.
Yeah, and I don't know if I don't know if he was trying to have some like Super Saiyan moment where he takes damage and then he powers up, but it was weird. Like I don't know what he was doing in there.
I thought you were gonna say it's like when Krillin got killed off in Dragon Ball Z and Goku transformed.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he was trying to like emulate or try to bring out, but there was no game plan in that fight.
Choi and Landwehr, they absolutely killed Landwehr's hype now.
But they brought Choi back, you know. Choi, you know.
Yeah, Choi's just. We'll wait and see with him. I think the jury's. I still need to see more of him. Bryce Mitchell and Kron Gracie, knew that was going to happen.
Dude, Bryce fucking cooked that boy, bro. He cooked him to the bone.
Yeah, and then Cyril Gahn and Volkov.
Fucking dude, like that. That killed me. That was like one of my kind of like underdog picks of the whole day. Like I felt like Volkov, he like really, really like got better. You know what I'm saying? Like he got like if you watch that first fight they had, like Cyril was obviously the better striker, and Volkov kind of knew it. So he did a lot of good things of just trying to like try to catch up to Cyril. Going into that rematch and using the grappling, making it like a more well-rounded fight, and
you're making it a mixed martial arts fight. Don't make it this is the thing that I did think he won that fight. I don't understand how you can score it for Cyril Gahn, but
yeah, it's just fucking weird Frenchy bias. Like they're scared.
For me, it's just convenient that like the one guy Tom Aspinall hasn't fought is the guy who got gifted that win, so that if John Jones for whatever reason vacates, you've got Cyril Gahn and Tom Aspinall as a fresh matchup for the belt. Because as good as Volkov is, it's hard to sell pay-per-views if you have Tom Volkov 2 for a belt.
Yeah.
You smoked him in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I agree.
It's hard to sell that, which is why I think they gave Gahn the decision. Wasn't one of the chicks that scored it like the chick that scored the first Canelo Triple G fight as well?
Fucking hoe. Some old hoe that likes dudes. That like fighter dudes that look more attractive than I don't know. It was weird, bro. It was just a lot of weird behavior. It's sad because it's like
he's another one that obviously, even though he lost, obviously on paper, like it's a very different sport to boxing. It's like different. Like, even though he lost, his stock isn't going to go. But what do you do with Volkov? You've beat number 4, you've fought number 2 twice. Tom and John Jones are locked, either locked in together or not. Can't remember if he's fought. He hasn't fought Jailton, but Jailton's booked. Leaves you with like a schmuck like Spivak or Tybora.
Yeah.
Jairzinho's booked with Pavlovich. Unless you fight Derek Lewis again and run it back and beat him.
I would actually like to see that. But no, it's just sad because it's like I've always wanted to see Volkov in a title fight, like win, lose, or draw. But I feel like he's always been so close, and he just doesn't get there for some odd reason. Like
it's a bit like Bisping, though, isn't it? If you remember Bisping, like as much as people joke about him being like a journeyman and stuff, like Bisping was consistently top 10.
Yeah,
wins and then lose, and then or just before he gets to the title eliminator fight, he would lose like a silly fight.
Yeah,
it would just be, and then it would just set him 2 steps back, and then he'd fight like another 2 or 3 up and comers, and then beat those, and then beat another guy, and then you're like, all right, Mike's on a roll, and then he'll lose, and it's just like, oh fuck's sake. Like I can tell you what, like I've said this before, I never thought he'd end up winning a belt. But he was so frustrating to watch because it was like, oh, he's getting to stay up, and then
yeah,
it's just, but
it's sad. It's sad money, but yeah. So I think that's it for UFC 310. I gotta talk about it. The last UFC fight night. I basically drank myself to sleep that day. UFC Tampa, Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. Very, very sad day for eBay Fight Predictions. A lot of y'all don't understand, but UFC in 2019, the welterweight division was so peak. You had the top 5 of Colby Covington, Kumar Usman, Jorge Masvidal, Leon Edwards, Gilbert Burns. Like these were elite level guys, and now you got fucking people like Joaquin Buckley, Logan Storley's son, out here making Bellator fighters look like fucking elite level dudes, and he's just that killed me, bro. I don't care what no one says, bro. Full camp Colby Covington beats that dude to a bloody pulp, but whatever. That just broke my heart. Like him standing over him in the first round, after the first round, I couldn't take it. But yeah, I mean, good on Joaquin Buckley. I can't lie. He had a pretty impressive performance. I think obviously, like he kind of took a page from Usman's book by going to the body a lot. I thought that was actually somewhat impressive. He was able to attack Colby's body, but yeah, man, Colby just I think he lost a step. I think that's fair to say. And he's muted. Okay, never mind. But yeah, and also let me read some of these. Every Bellator and PFL begging the UFC for a job. Now Pitbull used to talk crazy about the UFC. I know, bro. It's kind of crazy. Hopefully they get my guy Corey Anderson back. I mean, it's a fucking wrap. I mean, if he comes back. But yeah, Colby is so fucking washed. Colby versus Burns should be next. Surprise, we never got the matchup. Washed. Colby should retire. Yeah, Gaethje's down. Oh yeah, for motherfuckers. Motherfuckers. Yeah, it's a wrap. You already know, bro. You already know, man. Dan the Hangman. I'm happy Fuego's back. He's back to the Dan Hooker fan club. But yeah, we're smoking that dude. All right. Eddie Alvarez hit him with the knee. We're about to replicate it. Okay. Nobody cares about Corey Anderson, bro. Nemkov is running, Devin. He's running like a chicken. All right. He's running like a chicken. Okay. All right. So yeah. But yeah, man. Dude, UFC Tampa. I mean, honestly, like, bro, one of the highlights of that whole night was fucking Manal Cop. All right. Manal Cop did his fucking thing. Like, can we talk about Manal Cop, y'all? Like, if he wasn't such a fucking, like, I don't know, like just a disappointment when it comes to the big fights, like he could be really special, Respect Gaethje. Gaethje is a top 5 world-class contender in the UFC. I mean, he is, but I think that KO might catch up to him. I think we can catch him. I think we might catch him on the decline. And I think we're a little younger than him. I think Gaethje's like turning how old is he? He's 36.
I back.
You back. But yeah, Nemkov already. It's 1-1, buddy. All right, we won that first fight. We got fucking robbed. Okay, all right. Yeah, he came back in the rematch, but when the trilogy happens, we're gonna whoop him. All right, he can't run forever. All right, we're gonna whoop him. Cop is a fraud. I figured him out. He's always freezing in the big fights and goes out against debutant and a bum in Bruno Silva. Always speak good. Fuck y'all. No, I feel like Cop, he can be special, bro. I really believe
he's another one that's just frustrated, man.
He can really do it, man. His problem is output. Like he's
got everything you need, and in a division that's desperate for a star.
Yeah.
But even you can just sense the frustration in Dana as well. Like, it's funny though, because when he won his fight, he kept running over to Dana twerking for a title shot, and then he gets booked like a week later.
Yeah.
Is Gaethje Hooker definitely booked? That's what I was going to ask you.
No, it's not definitely booked, but it's in the works. Like it's the most logical matchup. I think it's a good fight for Hooker, and it's a good bounce back fight for Justin. You know, they're kind of it makes sense. You know. Sometimes they don't do it like that. They usually want to match up winners with winners and losers with losers, but they're doing it like this, you know, for this fight. But Cop is the 125 Romero. Like, yeah, but Romero was really him though. Like Cop hasn't. I don't want to like. I love Cop, but
I'm sorry, Devin. Romero killed dudes in the octagon. He might have had like 2 fights, maybe 3.
No, he was he was legit like the real champ in my opinion. A little bit.
When Romero like Romero beat up dudes bad, man.
Yeah, like he legit beat 2 former champions back to. Well, it wasn't back.
This is the thing though. I've always said it because even though people say Dustin's probably one of the best fighters that never won a belt, for me it's either Romero or like I know people are shitting on Colby at the moment. Colby like, but for me Romero like he's got all these champions on a resume.
Yeah,
but when it came to the actual title fights, it's I don't know. Like he's one of those guys. If the belt was
the second Whitaker fight, fucking Chris Lee, bro. Fucking Chris Lee.
Yeah, but was that the fight he came in overweight though? He would have won the belt anyways.
But we would have got a trilogy, and then we would have stopped him. Okay, like they couldn't deny us if we won that fight. But they got them Aussies. They got.
I'll tell you this for free. I am fucking glad Bisping dodged both of them.
Yeah, he did himself a favor. He didn't dodge Kelvin though. KG, JDM ending Usman.
That fight's not even happening though, because JDM's not going to be back for February. Usman's not going to be back. Obviously, Bilal's out.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Like the fight that we had at 310, I don't understand why they didn't whack an interim belt on it. Like, if they whacked an interim belt, like logically speaking, like it's Ramadan. It's Ramadan, and also Bilal's out with his foot injury. He's not going to be back till at least June, anyways. Shavkat was in there with Ian Gary. Joaquin Buckley's just fought Colby Covington, so they're not turning around anyway soon. Jack's still out with an injury. Usman's out with an injury. That leaves you with Leon Edwards and Sean Brady, and they're not going to have either one of those in the title picture, in my opinion. They'll have Leon fight at least once, if not twice, before considering the title shot. And Sean Brady, they're just not going to have him up there.
Yeah.
So it's just, I still think if they'd whacked an interim belt on it, that and also it sells the pay-per-view. Like, say, like I said this before, the last one we did, if that would have just, like having gold around Shavkat's waist, this undefeated guy, he's finished everyone but this one dude. Mm. You could have really painted him out to be this fucking phenom, and then obviously that would have tidied us over till June, July, and then we could have had them fight on like International Fight Week or whatever, him and Bilal.
Mm.
But UFC does what the UFC does. But
yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah, but hey, so let's get into the awards. So we're just only doing 3. Do you want to? There are some minor ones. Like we can give like a rough kind of feeling of what we feel like. What would you say submission of the year for you?
Submission of the year. I'm trying to off the top of my head.
I got Dricus fucking strangling.
I know you like Dricus's I know you like Dricus because obviously you don't like Adesanya, but him falling face planting before doing it. It makes it look silly, man. Do you know what I mean?
It was so technical too, like the way he
I'm gonna be honest. There's only one that stands out, and it's only because of the manner in which it happened. It was just Kamzat breaking Rob's jaw.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. And then what would you say is your pay-per-view of the year before we kind of get into the big ones?
Pay-per-view of the year. Well, it's not the Stipe one. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, mine was UFC 298 because I was actually there, so it's a little bit of a cop out, but yeah. Oh
That
no,
the
you
one
know
that-
what? Fuck it.
That's
UFC
the one that Ilya beat Volk.
Yeah. Well, UFC 300 was iconic. You know what? Let me stop. UFC 300.
Probably. Do you know what it is? Between Alex emoting on Hill and then Max face planting Justin, it has to be 300, right?
Yeah, I got to take that one back. Yeah, I'm saying UFC. Okay, so those I feel like we got some of those ones out.
And then do you know what it is? Moicano just after getting wobbled like that, finishing Jalen Turner, not Jelton, Jalen Turner, and seeing you lose your shit as well. That was quite funny.
Yeah, and no, well, the only reason I don't like that pay-per-view is you already know Rakic lost.
Yeah, Rakic as well. Yeah, I know. But in terms of like, holy fuck, what did I just see?
Yeah,
that one, no.
Yeah, no, you're right. Didn't Guru shout you out for the prayer? Oh, yeah, he did. Good on him. UFC 300.
I haven't seen that, you know.
Yeah, I think it was on chat. I never saw it either, too. But apparently he did. I mean, it got hella views, so I think he did. But all right, man, let's get into it. This is gonna be Ed's nominations for KO of the year. We're doing 3 awards. So
you know what? There were so many. There's one I didn't want. I know you've got one in your top 5 that I've not put in there, and you know which one I'm on about as well.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, okay. So you want to talk about your 4 nominations?
My nominations. So the 5th one was obviously the circumstances. Benoit came in and he was my one to watch at 155, and he was myself and a lot of MMA people thought that he would absolutely run through Dustin, and the pace he put on Dustin and the pace of that fight was, for the 2 rounds that it lasted, was amazing. And and then obviously Dustin just doing Dustin type shit, man, just being a real life Rocky, and then catches him with the lead right hook, and then the way he slumps as well. It's just, and obviously there's something about derailing hype trains as well, which added that element to it. And then obviously it capped off one of the most hyped pay-per-view events of the year, and it was a pretty stacked event as well. Yeah. For number 4 was obviously Usyk, putting his name on the map and getting him.
That was such a clean combo. That really was.
I think obviously had it not been Schnell, who gets fucking KO'd by everyone, I think people would appreciate the combo more.
But still, it's still nice. Cross to the body, lead hook to the head. That's I like.
It's definitely of all the KOs, even the first one as well. This is definitely the cleanest shot out of all of them. The 4th one is just a combination, the way he puts it together, and then sleeps him, and then obviously his stock went up even more as a result of obviously his performance against Pantoja as well.
Yeah.
So that was why it was number 4. Number 3.
Yeah.
Obviously. It's probably the least hyped one that I could have gone for, but
it's just so brutal though. I forgot about it. It's
how brutal it was, and the way obviously Walker gets knocked out all the time, but it's the manner in which he got knocked out, and it's like he's made Volkan Oezdemir look like Francis Ngannou here.
Yeah, yeah.
Shara Bullet. I didn't think he was performing that well in this fight, and then double spinning back fist, and that's all she wrote. I think that's very self-explanatory. Those are my 4 nominations. I take it you do your 4 nominations, and then we have a number 1.
Oh, you want to do that? Or
how do you want to do it? That's what I was going to ask you.
I was gonna let you talk your number 1, and then I'll talk about my nominations after.
Okay. I'll talk for my number 1. My number 1 knockout of the year is, drum roll. This is it. FA is my graphics guy now. I need to see the knockout. Boom. Face down, ass up. UFC 300. You don't get a better knockout than a BMF fight. You got 2 fucking savages in there. You got Max, who's up 4 rounds, decides to point to the fucking ground and say, I'll trade with you anyway, and put it all on the line. Throwing shots in the pocket, catches Justin up top, right hand, face down, ass up, 1 second left on the buzzer, and there's your new BMF champion.
Yeah,
And I don't think there was a single win that earned anybody more fucking stock than that did. I know what your number one's going to be now that you're laughing.
No. No, it's not that. Actually, it's really not that. But
Yeah.
I kind of agree with this. I think I don't know. It's because it's so last second. It's because it's like you know me. I always like body to head combos because I think those are the best ways to set up a great knockout. A lot of people don't realize he doubled up his hook to the body and to the head, and he really caught him clean. And I don't know, like
there's just something about, obviously, if you're a BMF, there's only one way to win the belt, right? There's no more badass way of winning the belt than, you know how they say to beat the champion, you got to beat the champion.
Yeah.
In a BMF fight, to slug it out with someone when you're already 4 up in terms of points, slugging it out with someone and then finishing them and then putting them out in the dirt.
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it? So, yeah.
No, this was I like your number one. I'm just gonna say that.
Because we all know how that story goes. That's why you like it so much.
But
I can't even say that fight also spooked the Georgia Garden on, because I know how the story was. I know how the story ended.
Yeah. Okay, so let me see. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna give you guys my KOs of the year. So okay, some people are gonna be mad with me. Some of the Ilya fans. So let's start with number 5, Oliveira versus the Albanian hero.
I hate seeing this shit up.
Bro, I'm sorry. This KO was so crazy, bro.
Do you know what hurt me the most? It was a logically, I should have put this in my top 5, but I can't do that to my boy Bernardo.
Yeah, it was a good scrap. It was a good scrap. I had to put that at number 5.
Yeah, but it was top 5 though. Like, looking at it objectively, it was in the top 5.
All right. So at number 4, I went with one of the, I don't know, like seeing the Yuri Prochazka fans go from arrogant motherfuckers attacking me 24/7 after defeating Rakic, who was obviously sick and ill and was not at 100%, bragging about beating a wounded animal, basically, to being completely humbled by Alex Pereira. Alex, he gained a lot of respect from me. I will get this image of him kicking Yuri Prochazka's face somehow laminated and somehow posted on my wall. This is an actual goal of mine, and it will happen. It will happen. So yeah, it's a very special place in my heart. And I think who doesn't love high kicks? But number 3, okay,
it's different though, isn't it? Was it like a headshot dead kind of? It's the follow up, and then Herb was like going to stop it and then didn't stop it, and then Paul Tam threw a few punches on the ground. There was that awkward sequence at the bottom, if you remember, at the end. That kind of took it away from me.
Yeah. Now, okay. So I will be honest, y'all. This is the only Ilya KO that will be on here, and it is Ilya's KO over Volkanovski. Now, okay. Now a lot of people want me to put on, I know, the Max one, but it's not as good as the Volk KO in my opinion. I just don't think he really. And, you know, I love Volk, but he really deaded Volk. The Max KO is great, and I love it. And it was good versus evil. Obviously, Ilya defeating the evil CTE Max and teaching perfect technique and offensive boxing ability. But this one right here, this KO over Volk, like the way he cornered him, the way he set him up, the way he threw his punches over Volk's jab, because Volk was having success with his jab, and the way he figured that out, it's just like he really smoked him. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was more follow-up with the Max KO, you know what I'm saying? But it's just because it's Max Holloway. That's why people talk about it. And then obviously Shara Bullet, I put that at number 2. I mean, it was just too cool. I mean, a double spinning back fist, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can you hate on that?
I do love that our lists are very different so far. I do like that.
Yeah, and at number 1, I'm not gonna lie, I had to put the evil Max Holloway. I think I'm sorry, y'all. I know you guys wanted me to put. I just couldn't justify it because it's like, even though I think Ilya's way better than Max Holloway, and I think it was proven, that KO over Justin is just too insane not to put. Like, it legit, I felt like got new fans into the UFC. It's one of the craziest KOs I think I've ever seen. I was in shock, even though. Like, yeah, and I do agree to a certain degree. It was a little bit of a hype job. You all hating on Gaethje for getting cheated against Holloway, eye poke, and illegal blows, the brutal cheating of height job Holloway. The KO is a bullshit KO. Max cheated the whole
I love that logic, you know. I love that logic.
No, I feel Devin on this, but it's just I can't justify because it's just, dude, that Ilya caught him with the left hook, dropped him really nice, right? But then there was just follow-up, like that was dead. Like there was no follow-up needed from Max. Those are like the walk-offs to me will always kind of win it. Like those are, I grew up on walk-offs. We grew up on like the Mark Hunt walk-off KOs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I was gonna say, I think we're that generation, isn't it? Even though like we're very young, like seeing Mark Hunt just walk off like after as soon as he lands a shot down the middle, it's just like we just love that shit, innit?
Yeah, Ilya Pack coming soon. Yeah, keep dreaming, Fuego. That is not happening. You guys can all keep dreaming on that one. I'm
surprised you got Max as number one though.
No, it's just it's hard not to, because as much as like I don't like Max, like it's hard to say that's not number one. Like that's it's.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. Obviously, aside from Jorge Masvidal running across the cage and needing to win in 5 seconds, I don't think I'll ever see a KO like this again.
Yeah, I know. It's just too insane. Like the stakes. The people who it was, like
it's a bit like Yair's upward elbow. Like see it, like replicated again.
Yeah, that's what it's like for me. Like that, like to me, that was my KO of the year when that happened. So it's like to say it's, even though I don't like Max like that, like I can't deny him that award, and I feel like he deserves it. And since he's been sleeping ever since fucking October, right? I think he deserves an award to kind of wake him up after what.
Yeah, send him the award by UPS. He's
yeah. And then I'll send him a letter like, I hope you're still okay, or you're not sleeping since Ilya, something like that. But what stakes? Yeah, it was best, right? It was
obviously, I know he's trolling, but you realize like he didn't have to fight at 155 against one of the most dangerous dudes in the fucking division.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do this thing where now, every time a fighter loses his fight, it's like, he's fucking washed, or he's this. It's like Gaethje still just head like you're as good as your last fight. Justin Gaethje literally head kicked Dustin Poirier.
Where's the fight companions, Punk? I'm sorry, bro. I've been so overloaded with work and school. I'm sorry, y'all. I know.
I'd consider this as a fight companion, to be honest. Well, no.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm trying to like. I know so many people are like kind of like really want me to bring the channel back like on consistency level, but I promise when I become like an EMT, y'all, I will get back to my grind. I promise, but just for right now, I can give you guys the fight talks, you know what I'm saying? And we can be a little more consistent there. He fluked Dustin. Gaethje was dangerous fighter until Max.
Gaethje got his nose broken at the end of the first round. He wasn't dangerous at any point in that fight.
Yeah, Gaethje didn't fluke Dustin Brody. Best KO is Ilya versus. I had that at number 3. Woonmerker. I did have that at number 3. Okay. So what's up next? All right.
I'll take its fight of the year and then
fight of the year. So Ed, give your we're about to show your nominations of fight of the year. And this is let me see if I can find. Hold up, y'all. Some technical difficulties.
It's just always this is funny. We did this last year as well. This is always the funny part of it.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So here's Ed's nominations for fight of the year.
Oh, okay. So I've got it's not it's Bahamondes, isn't it? It's Bahamondes and Riabix.
No, it's Riabix versus what's the motherfucker's name?
It is Bahamondes, isn't it?
Bahamondes Zellhuber.
Oh, Zellhuber. Well, I've got them confused, don't I? Yeah, I just like that fight in the spear. It was a great scrap. It was really it is Riabix and Zellhuber. I thought so. Yeah. I got Bahamondes confused for some reason because he was on that card. Yeah, but at the spear, it was a really fun fight. Obviously, the spear is one of those things where we might never ever see it again, and we didn't know what to make of it. But
yeah,
we all bitched at the lack of name value on the card before obviously the event got announced or whatnot, and the fact that Ozzy Osbourne was on the main card. Like I'm sure you can agree with that sentiment that there was just really lack of star power on this card. But some of the fights on there made up for it, and that was very much a standout fight. So that's why it's my number 5. My number 4. The scrap one was very, very good. And we just had the resurgence of the Hangman Hooker, which is why it's number 4.
Yeah.
Just the significance of it and just how well Dan's been doing recently. And you just got to give him credit for that. And it's just,
it was a good fight. It was a good fight.
It's like, it's one of those I'm back bitches kind of performance, which is why I really like that fight. Number 3, I've got Rebecca and Orobo. Again, this was just a fucking mad fight.
Yeah, it was such a bloody, like, I kind of forgot about it, but it was such a fucking scrap, you know?
Yeah. And the thing is, as well, this is one of those fights where, obviously, before you book it just doesn't make sense because you've got 2 prospects. Why kill one of them off? But you watch it and you're like, oh, I'm actually glad this fight happened. But at the time, you're like, oh, fuck, you're going to kill one of these guys off. In terms of, obviously, like, some of us just don't like having 2 prospects booked together. Like, I'm one of those. I'm not really a fan of it in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fight definitely made up for the fact that, obviously, that you obviously derail one of them, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Number 2, Pereira and Khalil Roundtree.
Yeah, great scrap. I can't lie. It was a phenomenal scrap.
In high altitude, you got the American against all odds, the left-handed.
And saved the pay-per-view, in my opinion. That shit was like kind of boring.
Yeah. Obviously, Khalil, bearing in mind, it's one thing being like number 4 or number 5, and then you stepping up to fight like Alex. The fact that you're like number 8 or number 9, and you're up on the scorecards against fucking Poatan Pereira, who's arguably number 1 pound for pound right now. Fucking insane, and it showed a lot from Khalil himself. And obviously, I can't remember if I gave him enough props, but I'm gonna give him his props now, regardless of the fact that he ultimately didn't go home with the belt. That was the definition of leaving it all on, like laying it all on the line there. Like, you can honestly go home and say, I did everything I could to try and win that belt. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
like some people can't always do that.
Yeah.
But it was just a great scrap. And obviously, when you see Pereira in flow state, that was like some Dragon Ball Z shit.
Yeah, that 4th round was insane.
Yeah, when he starts dodging the punches and then landing his own, that was like Gohan Super Saiyan 2 dunking on Cell. And then Cell's like, what the fuck's going on? And then Gohan's laying down the smackdown. And then it was just, that was just sick. That sequence was just crazy.
And the 2 body shots, the uppercut combo was fucking.
And it's not even like, again, the altitude as well.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to fight at that pace, to take the damage they did and the altitude they did. So yeah, that was number 2 for me.
Yeah. So at number 1, let's put it on.
Drum roll, please.
Will be
my fight of the year goes to Islam Makhachev and Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
You obviously have to explain it, but it's just like the narrative before this fight happened. Not a lot of people were happy at Dustin fighting for the belt again. We were all frustrated at the fact that we weren't getting new names fighting for the belt at 155. We had just seen Islam defend twice against a 45 there. Some of us didn't really consider it as a real defense. And then we finally get him to fight against a lightweight, and it's against a dude who's lost fighting for the belt.
Yeah. It was a good fight, man. It really was. It was a great fight.
And considering how one-sided we thought it was initially going to be before the fight actually took place, it's just the back and forth, Islam with the scar tissue, and he's starting to open up. You've got Dustin, who's doing really well in terms of what's it called? Like, Islam wasn't really having success with the double legs.
Yeah,
like into the singles.
Yeah,
and then Dustin always scooting out and getting his legs through, and just it's just the drama. And every time the fight goes back to the feet, everyone's just like, "Woo!" Like, and because we had seen what happened with Benoit Saint Denis when he eventually ran out of gas, and then he had his hands low from the body shots. You just thought at any point, like, oh my God, we could actually see. Although everybody said Leon's was like the Rocky moment, but we could have, for a split second, seen like Dustin like have the ending to the story that he would have always wanted.
Yeah, and
but I just thought it was a great fight.
Yeah, no, it was good. And then the way it ended too, like, it was just insane. Like, that grappling sequence was so dope. Like the way he like picked the ankle, rolled him over, like, and then just darced him. Like, honestly, that should probably be submission of the year too. But it's just, it wasn't against pure evil like Dricus was against Izzy. So,
Oh, fuck's sake.
all right. So yeah, no, I like your top five.
I feel like my list I feel like I could have had a better list, but those were like off the top of my head, those were the 5 fights that kind of screamed to me. I think if I'd gone through individually every card, I would have picked up other fights. But yeah, I just really like those 5 fights. Like if I could watch like constant chaos from start to finish, those 5 fights scream constant chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah, no, I agree. All right, so let me give you guys my fights of the year. Let me give you my nominations. Let me find it. All right, so yeah, these are the 4 that come into mind. I know some people might be surprised. I went with Tatsuro Tari versus Royval. I don't know if it's a bit of recency bias, but I was really impressed with how back and forth they were going in terms of grappling. And it came down to the 5th round on who was going to win it. And obviously some people felt like Tari should have won, or Royval did enough, in terms of damage. But yeah, I had that at number 5, but it was a really good scrap. And the Japanese kid, this kid deserved a title shot over that fucking clown Kai, in my opinion, but whatever. Asakura, but it is what it is. At number 4, we just talked about it. I went with Pierre versus Roundtree. It was such a great scrap. Both guys went at it. Khalil dropping Pierre in that second round was big, and then obviously we're just talking about the flow state from Pierre and his response and how he broke him down and how he got him out of there in that 4th round was insane. At number 3, it's Ed's number 1. I went with Dustin versus Islam. It was such a good scrap. I just was a little surprised because I thought Islam was going to dominate, and watching it live was a really, really crazy experience for me personally. But yeah, and then at number 2, I had to go with Dan versus Gamrot. That scrap in particular was such a monumental moment for me because it was just like, my boy's back in the top 5, motherfuckers, and we're coming for the rematch. I knew in my heart when Islam Kimura Dan, it was a fucking fluke, and we're gonna prove it.
Oh my god, not this prop. Oh my goodness.
We're gonna prove it to the fucking world next year, but it's okay. It's okay. And at number 1, some people might be in shock, but I ended up going with
drum roll.
Zellhuber versus Rubovix. For me personally, watching this fight, so the reason why I went number 1, it was how back and forth it was, and these guys aren't like top 15 level contenders yet, maybe, but these guys show so much great technique offensively with leg kicks, boxing, body kicks, just overall striking. There wasn't a lot of grappling in this fight, and I thought Zellhuber did a great job of using some of his long range weapons in those first 2 rounds. But I like how Rubovix would set up his onslaught of going forward with body work to get to the head. And that last round, I mean, who thought Zellhuber was not getting KO'd? And the fact he was able to survive that, it was insane. So that's why I went with them for number 1. But yeah, that is my number 1 pick.
I didn't do too bad, we had quite similar picks in terms of fights of the year.
Yeah. Good always defeats evil. Fluffy gonna sub Brendan Allen. But
you gotta get that as a t-shirt, good always defeats evil.
Yeah, it's such a real statement, like my boy Hooker Fod checking eBay's boy scammer. Royval Tari was nice. Tari winning the time.
It was a nice fight. The only thing about Tari and Royval was just like, I think it is by Royval standards. You look at it because he finishes people or gets finished kind of thing. You kind of just looked at it and went, that was the only thing for me. And yeah. I don't like midget MMA, so that was never going to be on my list. So.
Yeah, no. And then I forgot about Royval and Homeboy, and that was
a mad fight.
Yeah, it was super bloody. And shout out to Drew Dober versus Gene. So yeah, there are some honorable mentions we didn't mention.
There was some good fights, but I don't know. For me, it was weird because I had like a set 7 or 8 fights, whereas last year I looked at like a good 15, 16 fights.
Yeah.
I think we never had I don't feel like we had as much variety this year. But yeah, it's the same with the knockouts, like you were saying. Like the one lockout I was gonna put in my like top 5 was the Hoatan KO. You know the chick everyone's calling like the female Alex.
Yeah.
She was one that I was gonna put on the list.
Also honorable mention.
She got fraud checked. So
this almost made my top 5, but I kind of couldn't justify it. Brendan Allen versus Chris Curtis was an amazing scrap. I don't care what no one says.
Yeah, that was a good fight. But Brendan Allen looked like he was gonna die 6 times in there.
And he fucking overcame. Dude, the greatest takedown I've ever seen in life was that 5th round where like he's on his knees, right? And everyone's like, he's gonna be done. And he fucking Superman superplexes this motherfucker and takes him down. Like, it was like, I don't know how he found the strength. Like, I know he was fucking tired, but to get that takedown, and then yeah, it was.
Now you've said that, Aljo Tombstone power driving Calvin Kattar has got to be like moment of the year. But like Merab fucking Jordan and O'Malley.
Stop it, bro. Stop it. But okay. All right. So let's get to the last award. We're going to start off with Ed. Obviously, it's going to be Fighter of the Year. And let's talk about Ed's nominations of his Fighter of the Year awards. Let me bring this up. All right. This is Ed's nominations for Fighter of the Year.
All right. This is good. So my actual top 3 were like, I don't think those my Fighter of the Years. I think I've got a different list.
I kind of changed it. I know you wanted me to put in 5 and 4 was Islam and Dustin, right?
I want to see who I've got as my list, because I think my list is slightly different. I don't know if you're trolling me or not. This is the.
No, I swear. This is. I thought this is what you told me.
No. You're trolling me now, because I've got the photo you sent me.
No, I swear this was what I thought you wanted me to change it.
No, I've actually got the picture. It's Buckley 5.
I'll put the other one back. All right, all right. Sorry, y'all. Technical difficulties.
I actually don't know if you were trolling me then. I was like, he's trolled me with 2 fighters that didn't whoop any of my fighters. So
no, I'm fucking with you. Let me put it in now.
This is funny. Look at Win Records comments. Put this. You got Islam in there. Islam looks menacing in that photo, so that's what makes it funny. Ed has Aljo one. In fairness, I could have put Aljo. I didn't put Aljo on my top 5, but
yeah, he lost. Sorry, he lost.
Given that we beat the undefeated Russian and then we styled on America with Calvin Bater, could have put him at number 5, but didn't. In all seriousness, I don't know if you're going to put this graphic.
Yeah, I got it. It's about to be on.
All right.
Yeah, okay. This is Ed's nominations. His actual nominations.
My actual nominations, yeah. So like I was saying before the other graphic, my top 3 nominations were very much these guys actually are like, oh my god, like they've performed at an elite level kind of thing. And it was just like, yeah, my top 3 nominations were like, all right, they've been really good kind of thing. And then my number 4 and my number 5, I was like, let's not forget these 2. They've also had phenomenal years. So number 5 is like for a dude who might necessarily have fought like the elite of the elite, but he's fought 4 times this year. Joaquin Buckley. He's finished.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think the 4 guy. Oh, he fought that motherfucker, right? The Nomad.
He's fought Luque. He's fought Luque. He's finished him in round 2. He's fought Ruziboyev.
Yeah, that's who
he absolutely dominated. He KO'd Wonderboy Thompson, regardless of whether he's like 47 or 27. Thompson just doesn't get finished. And then he's fought Colby Covington. Activity is one thing when you're lower down the rankings, but when 3 of your 4 opponents are ranked inside the top 15 and you fought 3 of them inside a calendar year.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind, this isn't even from January till December. This is from end of March 30th to December 14th. So we're talking 8.5 months or 9 months, 8.5 months around then. So we're talking in the space of that's a fight every 2.5 months, 3 months, which is just insane. The level of activity, the finishes, how good he's looked since moving down at 170. And now people are talking about this guy fighting the likes of Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards. So I think Joaquin Buckley's had a phenomenal 2024. And I just wanted to give him his flowers for this year and how good he's been since moving down to 170. Number 4, I've got Volkov. He had one of the highest before he got robbed against Cyril Gane. He had one of the highest win streaks at heavyweight.
Yeah,
if memory serves me correct. And you know what? Just because he whooped Sergey Pavlovich as well.
Yeah, that was big for him.
And the manner in which he did it, dude was getting his hair combed between rounds while styling on that schmuck.
Yeah, you can't not add it. I did like this nomination. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Volkov was a sneaky one. Yeah,
and it's just one of those things where, like, aside from him losing a split decision, he would have been on a 5-fight win streak with 3 of them being finishes. So that was one of those where you've had a good year kind of thing. Rest up, champ. We'll see you in 2025. Number 3 was Dricus du Plessis. Obviously, a lot was said about him this time last year also because of the. But then obviously him in the space of 18 months, him beating Robert Whittaker, then beating Sean Strickland, winning the belt, and then fighting Israel Adesanya in Sydney, and then choking him out. Having 2 finishes over 2 of the greatest middleweights in modern history. It's not something to be snapped at.
Yeah, I agree.
I just thought Dricus is also someone who's had a phenomenal year. And we're at a point where we're looking at him and going, obviously, once he fights Sean Strickland, we're looking at him and going, who's really for him other than Khamzat Chimaev?
Yeah.
Like, he's another one that you look at and you think, even though Pereira's activity has been great, you could arguably really put Dricus as number 2, but because Dricus isn't as fashionable or as liked, he won't be ever mentioned in Fighter of the Year conversations, so it's worth me putting him up there for my nomination. Number 2 was Alex. He saved multiple pay-per-views, knocked out multiple schmucks, Shama, emoting on guys, styling and profiling. The rest is history. And my number 1 nomination is...
That's it. Greatest to ever do it. 145.
Oh, fuck. Why'd you have to do that, man?
The man, the myth, the legend. Ilia Topuria.
So I've got Ilia Topuria as my number 1. The featherweight Lord Farquaad. The Spanish Snow White Dwarf. The Georgian Garden Gnome. Also, the 2024 Fighter of the Year. Ilia Topuria. El Matador. He's finished 2 of the greatest featherweights in modern history.
Yeah.
Do I really need to say any more than that? Regardless of whether I like him or not, what he's done is pretty sensational. And I don't. You just don't. Year on year, obviously, a lot of the times where we've had the likes of Usman or Izzy or Volk as like Fight of the Year in previous years, you look at them and it's like, yeah, that's cool. They fought 3 times, they got 3 defenses or whatever. But there's not been many calendar years where you look at them and go, wow, that guy's beat those 2 guys in 1 year. And for Ilia to have Max on his resume and to finish Max after what Max had just done earlier in the year, and also dethrone Volkanovski, who had what? He had 3 title defenses of Max, but Ortega was 1, and then Chang Sun Young, and then Yair. He had 5 title defenses, I think. Like Volk's had 5 title defenses at featherweight. So to obviously dethrone someone with 5 title defenses and then take their belt and then finish them inside 2 rounds, it's pretty impressive. So Ilia's my number 1. I'm hoping Algo chokes him out next year. Can't fucking stand him, but he's the fighter of the year.
Man. I like your number 1. I think your number 1 is perfect. There's no problem.
You know what? Obviously, I've got my top 3. My top 3 were like, yeah, these guys are like Chads, like they've been fighting at championship level. But the other 2 were like, they've also had really good years.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put Diego Lopez in there because he went life and death with Dan Ige.
Well, he had a good year. I feel like he's a decent honorable mention. I mean, fought 3 times this year. Beat Yusuf, beat Ige, and beat Brian. So I think that's
Yeah, Ortega. But even the Ortega fight was like he could have got him out there in the first round.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's.
Ortega was
I don't think he did anything spectacular, but activity wise, three fights usually gets you in.
Yeah,
the,
I was gonna say, but Prate's like fucking finished multiple dudes, so we're not got fucking Prates on there.
Yeah.
To be fair, one of them is fucking Neil Magny. Everybody's fucking finishing Neil Magny.
Yeah, he beat Lee Magny. He fought 4 times this year, right?
Yeah, I think he fought something like that.
Yeah, he beat Trevin Giles and then he beat Charles Radke. Lower level guys, but still. But yeah. All right, let's go to my 4 or I guess my nominations for Fighter of the Year. This kind of breaks my heart that I have to add these 2 clowns at 4 and 5, but all right.
Bro, your list is all champions, bro. That's such a casual list.
I know, yeah, but the reason why I put you cannot add John because I mean he beat Stipe Miocic right this year.
He fought once, bro.
I just think that one win has somewhat propelled him to like GOAT status again. Like people are still talking about him, and I just think like that one performance, even though it's like whatever, I don't think it's that good. People act like it's something. You can't not add him. You know what I'm saying? Like in the discussion, but it is only one. But I added Jones here. At number 4, I added the evil Merab Dvalishvili. I think he's a clown. But I mean, he basically beat Henry Cejudo and Sean O'Malley in the same year, and I think that's pretty decent. It's not like I can't add him there, even though he did it in a clownish way.
Cejudo this year?
Yeah, he beat Cejudo this year.
Fucking hell, feels like so long ago the way he picked that schmuck up.
All right, relax. We don't talk about that. But yeah, I have to add him. I think he's the workhorse champ of the UFC, and I mean, as much as I don't like him, the way he got to the belt, you have to kind of respect it. No one ever wanted to see a belt around his waist, and he basically forced us. So
can we also add the fact that he knocked out Marlon Moraes? What a fucking KO artist Merab is.
All right, okay. He went life and death with that guy, but okay. But yeah, at number 3, I put Dricus Du Plessis. The Sean Strickland fight was close.
Did I get you thinking to add Dricus, or was you always going to add him because of Izzy?
Yeah, no, I think the top 3 is going to be similar, but yeah, I had to add him because those 2 wins are pretty good, but the Izzy one is what he did us justice that day, so he gets a mention. But at number 3, I put Dricus. I think just beating Izzy the way he did, the rivalry, the trash talk, the back and forth, and for him to silence that clown once and for all, like he's quiet now. I haven't heard a peck from him, so it's pretty good. And number 2, Alex Pereira. I think 3 fights in a year will always get you in it, and I think he almost won it after the Roundtree fight. Like I really do think I was gonna have him as my fight of the year because he beat 2 top contenders in Yuri and Hill, and then obviously, and also former champions, mind you, and then obviously, the Roundtree fight. The only thing that kills it for me, for Alex, I do think there is high-level ducking from Ankalaev. That's the only thing that really kills it for me. But besides that,
that's not what the discussion for fight of the year, though, is it? It's like
yeah.
No,
it's just the only reason why what kills it for me for him is that
you think he could have fought Ankalaev this year and didn't?
Yeah, I think he could have. I think he could have. I really do. I mean, if you look at the.
It's crazy though. They booked Ankalaev in October, and then like when they booked Ankalaev, like 2 weeks later, they booked Alex.
Yeah, so it's like
Alex, but they booked him. They booked him for Salt Lake, and then booked Ankalaev straight after, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of weak to me. But I mean, but it is what it is. And then also it's just the level of opponents. Like, I mean, the first 2 are good, but like, no disrespect to Khalil Rountree, he did really good. He actually did better than the other 2, but still, he's not. he's not a top 5 level fighter yet, in my opinion. Like losses to Ian Kutalaba. Like even though early in his career, it is what it is. Still, he went life and death with Jacoby. Like no, Jacoby had a great KO, but still, like sit down. But at number 1, I think you guys all know what I'm
already.
Yeah.
What an interesting list this is, Eve.
Yeah.
5 champions. I'm the only like hardcore who puts some real thought into mine.
At number 1, I had to put Ilia Topuria, the man that has made me the most money this year. He has just, I feel like shut up so many people this year. I mean, there was just I don't know what it is with people in confidence, but for some reason they don't like it in fighters. And he obviously oozes confidence, and people just want to see him lose. I don't know if it's because they're mad that he's short and he's actually good at fighting. I don't know what it is, but he beating Volkanovski had its asterisk, right? Obviously, Volk coming off, a KO loss, not that great of a layoff in terms of like resting his chin. A lot of people, criticized that. And a lot of people just felt like, all right, he KO'd Volk, but Volk was washed up. Max Holloway has a resurgence in his career, beats Justin Gaethje, right? Everyone's saying Max that, Max this, Max that. It just almost reminds me of 2018 when Max beat like Brian Ortega. People were talking about Max like he was the man. Fights Max Holloway. All the Maxi fans are saying this and that. He not only challenges Max in the pocket and Max ducks that smoke, he comes after him and smokes him in the third, even though it was a good fight and it was competitive. And I think a judge had Max up 2 rounds, which is kind of crazy. But like, for him to go out there and smoke Max the way he did, being the first guy to do it and the way he did it and told him he was going to do it and told the whole world he was going to do it, how can you not put him? And then, just the guys he did it against. I mean, Volk to me is my greatest featherweight of all time. I know people talk about Aldo, but I mean, Volk has a win over Aldo, has a win over Chad Mendes. So he has I feel like wins over different eras of featherweight, you know what I'm saying? And for Ilya to beat that guy, now obviously if he was fully healthy, you know what I'm saying? Like no chin problems, not coming off a KO, I think it would have been a more competitive fight, but still to beat that guy at 145 who hasn't lost a fight at 145, I think ever, it's insane, So, yeah.
Yeah, I want to move on. I don't want to talk about this guy anymore.
But yeah, man, that's our award show. I'm trying to think of topics we could talk. Oh yeah. Let's talk about some of our old predictions we had of last year. Let me pull it up. Actually,
this is gonna be so interesting. Do you know what? I already know one of them is not gonna fucking win, and I put that in jest anyways. I knew he wouldn't be anywhere near. Which what pissed me off even more because had he had beaten Movzar, he'd have been in the fucking running as well.
All right, so I haven't pulled up mine's. Let me find that, but I have yours saved though. That's for sure. So this was Ed's 2024 champion prediction list. He's not that bad off. I'm not gonna lie.
I think I know. It's Pantoja, Merab, Aljo, Islam, Leon. I think Dricus is 185. I think Izzy's 185. 205's Ankalaev, and then heavyweight is Tom Aspinall. I could be wrong though. Yeah. We didn't do a list for the 304s, did we?
Nah, fuck them. All right, so yeah, this was
my list.
Yeah, so yeah, Pantoja, he got that one right. Merab was pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. Aljo,
I just thought Merab would fight. Don't laugh. Okay. Don't laugh at the Aljo one because had the judges given him that win, it'd have been top 5. So I wasn't far off.
Yeah. Shoulda, coulda.
Islam was a bit obvious. I'm not gonna lie. The Islam fight. The prediction was obvious. Leon. Obviously, Leon only fought once this year. Had he had won, he'd have stayed champ. So a bit off. Izzy really shut the bed after all the race baiting and all the rest of it against Dricus. I just thought Izzy's just too clean and Dricus gets hit a lot. But yeah, Izzy really shut the bed.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You actually did something cool in the comments. All right, you actually did something really cool. Yeah, I got it. I got mine's right here. Good on Ed, actually. This is actually a better picture. I'm gonna send this. But keep talking.
And then Ankalaev, I thought Ankalaev would fight for the belt this year. And if he did, he would have won it. Which is why Ankalaev was my pick. And then the Tom Aspinall one was just on the basis of he either fights John Jones and beats him, or John Jones retires after Stipe and then he gets promoted to heavyweight champ. Yeah.
All right. So I don't know. Ed was either playing some 3D chess or knew I probably needed this kind of side-by-side photo. But Ed actually did something cool in the comments. He did like mine's versus yours. So, okay, these were my picks. Oh, my God. These are so bad. Okay. Oh, my God. Yo, these are so bad. Okay. So I at 125, I said Cop. I was a big Cop mark at that point in my life. I still am. At 135, I said Corey. That is fucking nuts.
Oh my
At
goodness, I did it right at the start of the year as well. Oh, good on me.
yeah. At 145, I said Ilya. Okay. And then at 155, we both said Islam. At 170, we both said Leon. And 185, my King Brendan
You just
Allen.
picked all your favorite fighters, though, dude. Like, you didn't actually take it seriously, though. This is the problem.
Yeah.
Other than Rakic. Like,
Yeah,
you're,
and then so far, Rakic. No, Rakic could have done it, bro. He could have done it. He just
if
didn't win.
Rakic had beat Yuri, he definitely would have fought Poatan next.
Yeah, and then heavyweight, we both picked Tom. I'm trying to. You might have edged it.
I mean, I obviously edged it.
Yeah, you edged it. You edged it. Good on. Good, yeah, you did.
I got 1, 2. Sure, I've only got 4, which isn't great. Aljo, I threw that guess away. Leon and Izzy fumbled, and then Tom didn't get promoted as champ, which annoys me because Tom said he's a champ.
Yeah.
But just because John Jones won't fucking. John Jones hasn't retired, but he hasn't also said he's going to fight for the belt again. So I don't really know. John Jones is really frustrating in that sense.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, yeah, good on Ed. 40 chess move right here, and he knew I was gonna need this.
I'm trying to think now. What made you pick Corey? Like, what circumstances?
I thought he was gonna fight Sean. I thought he was gonna fight Sean, and I thought he would beat Sean.
O'Malley was already booked against Cheeto in March, if I remember.
Yeah, no, I just thought he was gonna fight for the belt right after or something. I never thought he was gonna actually fight Umar in July. I just thought that the fight didn't make sense, but they booked it. So yeah. But I still think Corey beats O'Malley. I'm pretty confident in that.
I think I don't. You're gonna do a separate video, aren't you? Where you do top 5 fights which I need to see in 2025. I'll take it.
I don't know if I'm gonna do that, but we could do that here.
I think you should like record it on your own though, because I've got my foot list.
Okay, all right, go for it.
I've got 10 though. This is a problem. Let me get rid of the 3 or 4 fights because you're not going to want to hear that.
Yeah. No, we're good. We're fine. We've dealt with them long enough.
I've got 10 though, but they're in no particular order.
Okay.
All right. I've got Weili Zhang versus Valentina Shevchenko. She's going up for a second bout. Potentially in China, because they did do that China fight night thing. They might do it like that again at the back end of the year. I've got Nunes coming back to fight Kayla for the vacant 145 bout after Kayla inevitably wins the bout at 135. Yan versus O'Malley, but I need to see it as a 5-round title eliminator.
That's fair. I agree.
I've got Dubronx versus Max, BMF bout in Brazil. Also another title eliminator for 155 after Islam beats Arman next year. So that'll probably be because the Brazil pay-per-view tends to be around May. So if they do that, Islam's going to sit out anyways. They can fight in October, which works out in Abu Dhabi perfectly. I've got Brendan Allen versus Bo Nickel. I know you'll like that fight.
Yeah, that's we'll expose him, but yeah.
I've got passing of the torch after Talbot takes care of Barcelos. Talbot versus Jose Aldo. And that's one of those fights where people can really have Talbot on the radar if he wins.
Yeah, I think I might commit an assassination attempt if that fucking stripper.
I've got Ilya versus Everywhere in Spain. Somebody's all has to go.
Yeah.
That fight needs to happen. That's top 3. That should be top 3, but I've got it at number 4.
Yeah.
The third one I've got, but apparently you've said Justin and Hooker's already in the works. But Mardi Gras in Louisiana is on the 4th of March, which is on a Tuesday. But the problem is UFC 313 is going to be in Vegas. But if they moved it to Louisiana, we could have had Justin 3 as the trilogy and the retirement fight for both of them. They're both 1-1. And then when both those schmucks retire and Paddy knocks out Chandler, Paddy's going to be fighting for the 155 bout. which is sweet for me because
Yeah.
the UK can never get enough champions.
Yeah.
Dricus versus Hamzat Chimaev is number 2. Right, I don't think it takes a genius to guess the first one. John Jabrons Jones versus Thomas Aspinall.
Yeah, and I like that list. I like it. I think that's fair. I mean, number one, I just think it's so like you got to do it type shit. You know?
I feel like you got to do it, but I think it's. Do you know what it is though? I also think. I think the UFC are hesitant to make it for 2 reasons. One, they don't want to throw the money at John Jones. I think the other thing is also, if you end up in a situation where John Jones beats Tom Aspinall, what do you do? And he walks off, retires. What do you do with the heavyweight belt?
Well, you probably do the fucking weird gay fight they want to do is Cyril Gane versus Tom Aspinall for the.
But you got 2 of John Jones's potential sons fighting for a vacant belt.
Yeah.
They can't call that man the best man on the planet.
They will. I mean, they will do it. I mean, I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, they did it. You got to think. Well, they actually didn't, but they wanted to do Conor versus Dustin, right? You remember that for the belt, but they went against it because they thought Khabib was going to come back, but they were going to knock that out for the belt, but they. Was
this for the trilogy fight?
No, it was for the Fight Island fight. I'll never forget. I thought they were going to do it.
Oh yeah, when Khabib relinquished the belt. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, they thought, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? A lot of people thought that was going to be for the belt, but it wasn't. I don't know what the UFC does. They might just, I don't know, put Jailton Almeida in there somehow, you know, because they want
he's fought since, I think, but I still think of Curtis Blades fucking whooping him.
Yeah, that is true. I
guess Jailton Almeida's another one though. Like, it's just like you just think he could fucking do so much damage at 205 as well.
But I mean, no, I don't think so. Actually, I really think he probably got stopped earlier at 205 if he would have fought the same. He doesn't strike. He doesn't really. He has a T kick. And
you say that some of those schmucks can't defend takedowns to save their life, though.
Yeah, maybe he would have beat Roundtree. Maybe he would have got Roundtree out of there, but I don't think he beats Rakic. I don't think he beats Ankalaev. I don't even think he beats Hill. I don't think he beats. I'll go down the list. I
think he does all right at 205. I've got the rankings right now. Alonzo Menifield, do you think he beats him?
That's tough. That's a tough fight, bro. That's a tough fucking fight.
I'm not having this. Menifield, he's on everybody's highlight reel, bro. I'm not having this right now.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you're being disingenuous or not. Anthony Smith, do you think he beats him?
Of course.
Do you think he beats Bogdan Guskov?
Yeah, I do.
Azamat Musakhonov?
Nope.
Dominic Reyes?
That's a tough one. No, it's a tough fight though. Dom, I haven't seen Dom against enough elite wrestlers. You know.
Yeah. Johnny Walker.
That's a 50-50 one, but yeah, he might beat him.
Volkan Ozdemir.
No.
Nikita Krylov.
No.
Khalil Roundtree.
Yes.
Carla Solberg.
No.
Rakic.
Hell no.
Jan Blachowicz.
If he maybe based on old age, but no.
Jamal Hill.
No.
Yuri Prochazka.
It hurts me to say this, but no.
Magomed Ankalaev.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Maybe Alex, but I don't know.
You picked one was it one? Another one was a 50-50.
Yeah. I don't think he does that well.
Three. You think he only beats 3, maybe 4 out the top 50.
Dude, I really fucking believe this with my whole heart. I'm just seeing a trend of it now. I really do think 205ers are better than heavyweights.
I did say this though when Kennedy went up to 205. I did say, like, if you have like any remote like what's the word, like athleticism, instead of cutting 205, just fight at your walk around weight at like 230.
Yeah, if you have a decent frame too, like
But Kennedy's 6'5", bro. Kennedy's massive.
Dude, look at fucking. I mean, to me, it got really proved. Like, I know I don't want to go straight to boxing, but it got really proved when we saw like Usyk beat Fury twice. Like that, I'm still finishing that fight. I haven't like fully finished it yet. Like, I think I'm on the 9th round.
It wasn't as good as the first fight, though, in my opinion.
Oh no, I mean, let me tell you why. All right, Fury is an idiot. Okay, he shouldn't have came that heavy to that second fight. That was a mistake.
My only thing with Fury is when I found out he weighed his career heaviest, I thought he was going to lean on Usyk more and like drown him, but he didn't do that. He didn't lean on him at all.
Yeah.
Why carry all that like blowback? Like it just made no sense.
No,
I'd only carry that extra weight if you're going to lean on someone and try and tire him out. And he didn't really throw body shots either.
Yeah, and I think he thought he was going to one shot him with the uppercut. I really think he thought that, and he carried power against Deontay, but Deontay was always like a glass cannon, in my opinion. I don't think Usyk is that.
I think sometimes we said this about Stipe DC, right? Like the trilogy took a lot out of Stipe. I think the Wilder trilogy took a lot out of Fury.
Yeah, I do too. I think that hurt him a lot, but I think that first fight, he came in light. He knew this guy was going to have a speed advantage, and because he came from a different division, so he knew he would try to match it a little bit. But trying to like beat his speed advantage without using your size is dumb. Like he was better off trying to actually box. Go pace for pace.
I don't really pay too much attention when the midgets start fighting, like Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney. The soy boy weight classes like 130, 140.
Those are literally the premier divisions of boxing.
I know they are, but like I don't like it because it's very tippy tappy.
Yeah,
heavyweight feels like a different sport. Like I think everybody's grown up on heavyweight boxing, but for me, like Usyk is just like we've never seen a schmuck unify cruiserweight and heavyweight since like Evander Holyfield. I think Holyfield's the only person to do it. And those like I know you're saying like they're the premier divisions, but there's no bigger weight jump than cruiserweight to heavyweight.
That's true. That's true. He's done it. Yeah.
Fighting 6'7" guys that are like fucking like 250, 260, they can put your lights out with one punch. And I say this all the time, like at heavyweight, you almost have to be perfect because one punch changes the complexion of a fight.
Yeah, no, Usyk is just right now. If he would have fought like Wilder, I think he would have completed this era of heavyweight being the best. I still think he is. I think he got the new guys coming in. I think
that China guy is dangerous, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Zhang might fucking even. What's his name? I think
there's a new guy Moses as well, but Moses is too young though. By the time he gets,
there's a guy that knocked out Jared Anderson. I forgot his name. Bokoli, I think that's his name. That motherfucker, Bokoli and Zhang, those are the two toughest fights for him because they just carry so much power and they're so big, and they're gonna know how to use it against them. Unlike
I still think, like I said, man, I think that's why Usyk fights the way he does, man. Like you gotta be so perfect to fight that way.
Yeah, well, and he's gonna have that speed advantage, that natural speed advantage, and I think a lot of those guys, and that's the same thing going back to the UFC. I swear to God, like I do not think fucking Ryan Spahn will do bad at heavyweight. I really think this might be a career change.
There's a few 205ers though, like. There's a few 205ers that will do all right at heavyweight. As long as you don't get someone like Parker Porter like lay and prey on you for 15 minutes. But you should be able to avoid all of that if you're half decent. But it's like, I don't know. It is weird. Like you ever think of like Kevin Holland and like Joaquin Buckley? Like Kevin Holland's better than Buckley, but they both went to 170. And look who's looking like the better fighter right now.
Yeah. Well,
who's on the verge of fighting for someone for in the top 5? It's crazy to think.
Yeah, but Kevin Holland's an idiot. And Buckley, he's an idiot too, but in a different way in terms of like fight. Buckley, like the thing with Buckley, he has strategies. He actually has a strategy going into a fight. And Holland is a bit like, I guess he goes with the tempo, with the flow, and kind of like figures it out on the.
I might see Buckley might end up in the UK, next year.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. I'm just saying, like Buckley. The difference between they have one common opponent, I think at welterweight, and that's Stephen Thompson. You can just look at the difference between how they fought him. Buckley used level changes to disguise the right hand. You know what I'm saying? There was a strategy.
Like Holland was never gonna.
The dummy.
That's the thing.
The dummy got a takedown, Ed. The dummy got a take. You know what?
Yeah, no, I remember that. And then he let him get back up.
And you know what's crazier? Like fuck all Buckley. He has wins not only over Buckley, but Anthony Hernandez at middleweight. And look, both of those.
He's got decent wins at middleweight.
Yeah, he has a lot of potential, but that's why
Jacare was what, top 8 when he beat him?
Yeah, but you could say Jacare is on his way out, but still, like, dude, you don't understand how. I'll never forget when he lost to Brunson. You don't know how many people reached out. People really wanted to see that kid succeed. He doesn't want to succeed. He's the problem. I don't like the Derainer guy from ONE FC that's coming over to the UFC.
Yeah.
I hope Holland whoops him. But if he gets subbed, I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised if a Derainer subs him. I really wouldn't. Because he doesn't, I don't know how to describe it. He doesn't have any aspirations of being a champion.
No, I get what you mean. The interview he did, he said something like that as well. Like he was just
and it's very dumb. It doesn't matter if you never become a champion, but you should want to be that. You know, like there's a lot of guys that never touch gold, but
I don't understand how the UFC signed him after being 1 and 2 in his last 3 fights. Though this Derrida guy.
I don't, because he's really good at ONE FC. He really was. So there was a guy named Ong Song that I really liked. That was like their middleweight champion, and he was really doing good. And this fucking Derrida clown came in and just humped him for 2 fights. And he's a good ONE FC fighter. He has some accolades. Like he tried to go up to heavyweight. Like I think he was a double champ, but he's fucking trash. Like I'm not too high on him. GM3, if GM3 didn't get caught with the shot, GM3 was gonna walk over that clown, but it is what it is.
GM3 fraud checked one this year, didn't he? I forgot. Was it? Did he fraud check Shahbazyan?
It's crazy. He fraud checked Shahbazyan, but couldn't fraud check this fucking clown. Oh, you don't understand how much I hate. Like that, he's the reason why I stopped watching.
GM3 is very he's very Michael Johnson-esque, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very. It's very like I want to win one day, but I can't. You know?
Like he's got. Obviously, Barberena, I knew he was going to beat Barberena. Shahbazyan, I knew he was going to beat Shahbazyan. But that Petroski, Pyfer, this is what I'm saying. Like, he hasn't been knocked out that much,
Yeah.
Considering his deficiencies. He's been subbed 9 times, though. Which you wouldn't think, considering how much of a submission guru he is. Say that again.
I will be sick if fucking that clown ends up becoming another Dricus and runs through the division, and then we see him versus Dricus.
I don't think so, though. He seems to, based on his record, again, I've not seen any tape on him, but he seems too one-dimensional. Way too one-dimensional.
Oh, wow.
Dricus, like, he gets you involved. He makes you fight his fight. He makes you involved in the chaos. And then by the time you fight his fight, you're so fucking tired doing what he does.
All right, I got some breaking news. This is kind of crazy. Rakic cut his team after Ankalaev lost and will be training with John Jones in America.
You're joking.
I swear to God. It's
Does Rakic have a driver's license?
I don't know what he has, but this motherfucker. I hope this.
He needs to start getting, like, he could not go out with John Jones, buddy.
But yeah, apparently he's really leaving. That's crazy. It's called it's from Black Belt MMA. I'll send you the.
Do you know what the crazy thing was? The last fight talk we did we not say he needed to train somewhere closer and he needed to train in America?
Yeah, well, he needs to get away from those. I follow him on YouTube and like I was watching his vlogs. He nothing against those guys. Those guys all seem like they really want to see him win, but they're all fangirls. They're not like. I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? They're not telling them the truth.
They're like yes people.
Yes, yeah, like you don't need, like, I'm telling you, bro, like, and it's hard for some guys to like kind of accept it, but you need to have trial and error in practice and sparring. You need to have tough rounds. People, they run away from it because they don't like the feeling. Everyone wants to be the top dog in the gym, and they don't want to run away. They never want to be the guy that has to start over or feel like, oh, I got to get better. But you need it. You need it because at the end of the day, it makes you better. And I don't know, like I thought he would go back to ATT. That would be a good look for him because you'll have, some guys he can train with. But I don't know if
I did think ATT. I did think if he was going to go back, ATT would have been the move. Interesting, he's picked John Jones though.
Yeah, I think it's just because of the performance. A lot of people are like that. They're like, oh, he did so good that it's going to translate. It doesn't work like that. He's a very weird case, I feel like, with the way he fights. Like, I remember, what was his name? You remember when Maurice Green tried to, like, fight like John Jones one time and got knocked out?
Oh, yeah. There was a phase where it was him and Walt Harris and all those guys. And
it doesn't work out like that.
They were all losing fights. And they were all doing some stuff, and you just like, what the fuck He's got to be
No,
right.
it's
John
because
Jones
he's
is training with these guys.
it's the way he's built. He can do stuff like that, like leaning with his chin in the air because he's so long. He can kind of do.
I would never. Do you know why I told you I don't fucking like that Wonder Boy schmuck? Yeah, and everybody likes him, and I'm made to feel like an absolute dickhead because he's the reason my boy Chris Weidman lost his belt. Starts hanging out with Wonder Boy. Starts thinking he's some Karate Kid schmuck. Throws that spinning back kick and gets fucking grounded out. And we lost the belt, and we never got it back, which is why I was absolutely fucking fuming that happened.
Yeah, no, I don't know who he thinks he is, bro. Like, I don't know.
That was the fight. I remember this. When Walt Harris fought Overeem. Yeah, he got beat up bad in that fight.
Yeah. All right. But okay, so let's give our predictions for the next champs of 2025. And I'm going to pull up the rankings. And yeah, man, let's start off with 125. Do you think Pantoja keeps the belt or what?
This is my doozy. My 125 champ. I always throw a mad guess every year, don't I? My 125 champ is going to be Muhammad Mokaev.
That's not a bad one.
I think Pantoja is going to fight Kai Kara-France in the first quarter, if not the second quarter. I think they're going to re-sign Mokaev, and they're going to throw him into a title fight like they did to Kaya Sakura in the Abu Dhabi pay-per-view in October, and I think he's going to beat Pantoja. Because Pantoja is going to have too much tread in the tires by that point.
I know I probably sound like a broken record, and I've been saying this for the last 2 years. I really, really believe him in all cop. I really hope he doesn't disappoint me like he did this year. I think he's going to smoke Brandon Royval, and I think he's going to run it back. Or it would be great if he actually gets a fight with Kai Kara-France, but I don't think they're gonna fight.
Do you want to write our guesses down somewhere so that you can be like,
damn, right? But no. So I think Cop is gonna knock out Pantoja. So I got Cop.
All right, so you've got Cop, and I've got
Mokaev.
Yeah.
My only thing about the reason why I don't say Mokaev is I think it's gonna take a minute for him to get back. I think they're gonna.
I think the UFC are willing to wait though because there's not that many contenders.
Yeah,
which is why I think Mokaev, they're gonna sign him and they're gonna come back, kind of thing.
Yeah. At 135,
I've still got Merab, to be honest.
And you know me, man. AKA is getting that 135 belt. I got Umar.
Of course you do. But I want an apology when Merab wins.
Dude, he's so animated at the press conference. Oh, you disrespected me. You disrespected me. Show me respect. Dude, I was like, bro, what the fuck?
Bro. We're gonna humble that. We're gonna humble that garden now. So,
bro, we might fucking like switch kick him to death, bro. Like, be ready, man. Be ready.
145.
Oh, you know me. I think Ilya. If Ilya doesn't move up, maybe Movsar, but I'm saying Ilya.
I've got Ilya as well because I just think Ilya's gonna fight, and then if he fights Volk again, he's gonna do some stupid mind games, and then after that, I'd be like, I'm not fighting, and then sit out, and then he's gonna talk some nonsense about I'm not fighting unless it's at 155 for the second bout and all this stupid shit. So I'm not trying to hear all that. So I just think he has the one fight in him this year. I think they do. If they do him against Volk in Spain, I think that'll be him done for the year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's time to schedule in.
At 155,
I would joke and say Paddy, but in all seriousness, I think Islam's holding on to the belt.
Yeah. So here's my dark horse pick of 155.
You're gonna say Dan Hooker,
you already know, baby boy. So this is how I see it playing out. I think Dan Hooker is going to catch Justin Gaethje with a knee. I think Arman is going to give Islam one of the toughest fights of his career. Because one thing I've noticed with Islam is he's been getting in a lot of tough fights. Okay, let's keep obviously good fighters. He's fighting, not saying he's fighting, but I think this fight with Arman is really going to show me how long he got left as a champion. If he doesn't get Arman out of there quick and show levels, and if it's a fucking scrap, we got a chance.
What whilst we were saying about Pantoja having tread in the tires, he's low-key someone who's got a lot of tread in the tires as well.
Yeah,
He's gone 5 rounds with these guys. He hasn't dominated as a champion the way he did when he was a contender.
Yeah. He's had one dominant title fight, and that was against Charles, right? So it's like, no, well, he's Charles in the second Volk fight, right?
But I don't really count that one, though. In terms of like an actual person he dominated, was only when he won the belt.
But yeah, but at 155, I think he's gonna have a tough fight against Arman, and then I think Dan might get away with a quick KO, but I'm not sure. But he might get away with one. I'm hoping for it. And then we got the iconic rematch in December. Dan Hooker versus Islam Makhachev, and Dan Hooker defeats the evil Islam Makhachev.
Your actual pick for 155 champ is Dan.
Yep, and I'm standing behind.
Sure.
Huh?
Okay, you're definitely sure. Okay. Just double checking, because I don't want you to be like, oh, when you lose the picks next year, be like, oh, I was only fucking joking.
No. I believe it. I think he can't. I do, bro.
I don't believe in Ellen DeGenerate. I don't want him as the champ.
I believe we can do it. I believe. All right. All it takes is a dream. At 170, I'm gonna say Shavkat, but there's a part of me that wants to believe in Sean Brady, but I just can't. I want it to be different.
I don't think it'll be anywhere near the title picture, or I don't think it'll be in like a title eliminator bout. If he is, it'll be to get
the only way I could see it happening, right? This is the only way I could see Sean Brady getting a belt, right? Is if JDM ends up fighting Usman, beats him, and JDM miraculously gets a knockout over Shavkat, right? Somehow, right? And then Sean Brady fights JDM. I think Sean would do it. Like, I think that's probably his best stylistic matchup in the top 5. But everyone else, I don't think he beats. You know, some people actually really believe Sean beats Leon, which kind of scares me a little bit. But I don't.
I think whoever Leon fights next, he's gonna have you guys must have all forgotten kind of performance.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Everyone talks about his activity, but Leon's frequently fought like every 9 months or so. So he's used to being out and then fighting again. Like he's not really like a ring rust kind of guy. It doesn't seem to affect him as much. If you remember, especially during COVID as well, when he was off and then he fought, he looked slicker than ever.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really worry me. So you'll think he's definitely Shavkat.
Yeah, Shavkat. I wanted to be different and say Brady, but it's Shavkat.
You know, my heart wants Leon, yeah, but I don't think he'll fight for I don't think they'll have him I don't think they'll have him fighting for a belt, which is why I can't say him. I have to go based on what I think the UFC is going to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think Giacomo's going to end up winning the belt in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I have a sad feeling that could happen.
Because they go to Australia / New Zealand twice a year now, and he can't make the February one. I think the first title fight will take place in June between Shavkat and Bilal. I think say everyone's picking Shavkat as a favorite. If Shavkat was to win, I think they turn him around in September to fight in JDM's backyard.
Yeah.
JDM just does him like he did Randy Brown.
Yeah, and then also I just don't like the. It's not like I used to really love the matchup for Shavkat, but I don't know. Shavkat's just. I don't know if it's because he's been fighting guys that are like really, really good slick strikers. The only problem with that matchup is just his defense in the pocket. I don't like.
The only thing for me that's like.
I think Shavkat should beat him, though. I really believe that in my heart. He should beat him, but I could see.
He should beat him, but it's just he gets hit too much, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. That's the only
JDM will hit him. JDM will hit him with a body shot or something. They'll make him think early on. He'll do something to make him think. Actually, do you know what? I can't get too close to him, but it's that he's gonna. The only thing is JDM doesn't have the same long weapons that Ian Gary does.
Yeah, and the only problem.
I don't know what they do with Ian Gary though, because initially, like this time last year, we was talking about him fighting Kobe because Kobe was top 3.
Yeah,
but they've got Kobe at number 9 now. It doesn't benefit Ian Gary to fight down.
Yeah, I would say I mean you might just rebook the Buckley fight. You know,
I doubt it though. But I think they either get him to fight Usman to try and shoehorn him in there, or they try and throw money at him to try and get him to come to London. But Ian Gary's been like, oh, if I come back to Europe, I'm going in Ireland. You're not big enough to go to Ireland. Like, they're not going to Ireland. There's no market there. So he's going to be fighting in Vegas, which is why I think Ian Gary will probably fight around April, May, and then another fight in like November at MSG would be mine, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, my guess is based on the activity and based on how I think they're going to line up the. But welterweight's a bit weird though because, like I said, we had, like I said earlier in the show, we had so many people out. We don't know when they're coming back. We've got all these pieces, and the pieces that we have are available. It's like Gilbert Burns will be back by now, but nobody gives a fuck. Jeff Neal, no one gives a fuck. Stephen Thompson, nobody gives a fuck. Brady, no one gives a fuck. Usman's out, Cat's out, Bilal's out. Leon, they're going to shoehorn for March. JDM's out.
I mean, maybe you say Ian versus Leon. I think that's a good fight, right?
I did say that, but I don't think Gary's not really keen on that fight for whatever reason. So
yeah.
But, I think they might do something like Leon versus Burns or something in the UK. But we'll see.
Or Leon. I really
Leon Brady would be the obvious one.
Yeah,
like me, because I want Leon to fight Bilal again and win the belt, I'd rather have him fight Brady.
Yeah, it's a better like setup matchup, you know.
It's a better setup and it's a better preparation.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing 185.
Yeah, 185.
Fucking saying Brendan Allen again because I'm gonna fucking lose my brain cells if you say Brendan again.
Okay, the only reason I'm not saying Brendan is because I feel like Brendan might need like 3 fights to kind of get back in the title talks that he was in. My dark horse pick actually is going to be Nasruddin Imavov. I really do think he can do it.
I need to talk to me because he's fighting Izzy first. How does the rest of the title picture?
I think he beats Izzy, and he. To be honest, the only person to make him really look bad is Strickland. When you think about it, right? Or I'm trying to think.
Strickland beat him in short notice as well.
Huh?
Strickland beat him in short notice.
Yeah, that's the only person. That's the only person I've seen him made him look bad. But I mean, striking wise, I really do think he can keep up with Izzy. I don't think Izzy's that better of a striker than him. Like that, like he might have like a few. He has experience, obviously, in kickboxing, but like I mean, we've seen Nasruddin like compete. Like he has. I mean, against Brendan, it was a little different. His striking didn't look that good because it's Brendan Allen, and that's a high level fighter. So it's okay, but but you saw what he did to Cannonier. He dismantled him, right? Cannonier was humping legs, and I do think Nasruddin is better than Kyle Barallo. I think Kyle Barallo is good, but I do think he's a little overrated right now.
Fighting those is that camp that everybody's talking about right now.
Yeah, and Barallo is probably the best out of that crew, but I do think he's getting a little overrated. And then I just think the wrestling threat is there. He's shown us that he can wrestle, and I think if he takes down Izzy multiple times, I think he can beat him. I really do. And then, as much as it pains me to say it, like I don't know if Sean beats fucking Mr. Dricus, and
I picked Dricus in the rematch. By the way, just wanted to.
Yeah, I hope Sean. I like Sean like more than Dricus, but I just don't. For some reason, I don't see it. But I might end up picking Sean, but still, I can see Dricus winning. And then there's something about like a lot of people have not. I don't know, have not watched the matchup between Dricus. What's the guy's name? Looking from. I forgot his name, but the one that knocked him out in that KSW promotion. What's his name?
That was the dude you was hired, wasn't it? I'm trying to look it. I'll look him up now.
Yeah, but he's really good, and I saw how he smoked him and how he beat him. I think Nasruddin can do it. He doesn't have the power that guy had. Yeah, him. And I just feel like somebody technical needs to beat Dricus for me to keep my sanity,
The thing is, he's fought technical guys and he's absolutely drowned them. This is the thing.
Yeah.
Robert Wood is technical. Israel Adesanya is technical. It is. You do look at it sometimes.
But those two are clowns in their own right, in my opinion. So they can kick rock. But Strickland had success. Fucking Tavares had success. Someone needs to beat this guy. All right, I will lose my fucking mind. Even though I like Dricus, I respect him. He defeated the evil Adesanya,
I'm
but
looking at these names, and they're very limited in terms of choices and how middleweight can only play out so many ways. Like even if Adesanya wins, unless Hamzat wins the belt, you can't do anything with Izzy. Hamzat's going to be on the ice and fight the winner. My guess is Sean Strickland. I don't know what they do with him if he loses. I really don't. Unless they get him to fight Whitaker after he loses, because it's the only guy in the top 5 he wouldn't have fought by that point. My guess with Kyle is they're getting like someone to fight him as an Apex main event. Probably Robert Whitaker or something like that.
Yeah, I think
after that, if he wins that's a credible enough win to fight for a belt. But the thing is, they're not going to be in a rush to have him for a belt because we already know after Strickland, Dricus 2, who's next in line, if that makes sense. Yeah. So he's going to be, if he wins the belt, he won't win it to the back end of the year. So if you do have a guest like Kyle or Imavov, they're going to be fighting for the belt around October, November.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough stretch because Kamzat, I forgot about it.
Right. Marvin Vettori is going to be nowhere near it. Cannonier is going to be nowhere near it. And like you said with Brendan, because of the Imavov fight, he's going to need 3 fights to get back in the mix.
I think if he goes out there and beats Fluffy Hernandez, I think it's not. I don't know if they're going to reschedule it, but if they get that fight going on, I think it'll be
Vettori, right?
Yeah, and then him and Vettori, I think he's back in the mix. But it's gonna be a little. But I think Nasruddin, just stylistically, like he might not get the title fight, but stylistically, I like his chances against someone like Dricus.
Do you know what though? Saying that though, they've been saying about going to South Africa, but even though I don't know what the circumstances with Hamzat's going to be, because obviously with what's going on behind the scenes, can he fly to certain countries, if you catch my drift?
Yeah.
If they are going to do South Africa this year. If not, they've been wanting to go. They always go to Paris. If they did a pay-per-view in Paris with Imavov and Dricus, and then had Cyril Gane fighting on there, and then had Saint Denis fighting in there, and then Manon Fiorot could be fighting Valentina Shevchenko for the 125 belt. There's 2 title fights headline in Paris. I'll be honest, my guess is Chimaev, because I think he's going to fight Dricus.
Yeah. No, you're right.
205's next. 205, I think, is easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say Magomed Ankalaev, 205.
Yeah, Ank's my pick as well.
Yeah, I think he got robbed this year of not getting a title fight, but yeah.
I think there's only so much that can avoid the inevitable. I also think if he wins the belt, it's one of those things where they're going to wait 6 months or whatever to get Alex another crack at the belt, because they're not going to have him fight any more contenders. He's beat everyone bar Rakic in the top 5.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Rakic and Olberg are the only guys in the top 7 he hasn't fought, besides Ankalaev. But yeah, I think if Ankalaev wins, even if he wins, the back end of the year with them fighting in Abu Dhabi and then Ramadan the following year and all that stuff, the scheduling wise, he's going to fight once, maybe twice a year anyways.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I think it's down to the activity and the scheduling, not necessarily how the rest of the division is going to play out. So
yeah,
kind of why it is.
Hill versus Yuri's might be interesting because winner of that, especially if it's Hill, they might just book a rematch.
I did think that, but
I don't know.
I don't think Poatan will fight until May.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the reason he didn't come and save the December card was that toe injury, and he didn't want to fight. Like, he didn't mind fighting the others with the toe injury, but Ankalaev was one of those he wanted to be 100% for. So I think that's why he's waiting.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think if he fights Ankalaev, I think May, June is my guess. And then they might turn around and have the rematch in October if they do so. Because they won't put those two on MSG. And I don't think Dana's keen to have Ankalaev in Vegas.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
So a heavyweight, what we thinking? Just Tom?
I've got Tom, but I think it goes one of two ways. They either have the fight. They either have the fight, and if John Jones wins, he wins, vacates, and then Tom fights Cyril Gane in September, and then the winner of that ends up winning like the new heavyweight bout, or John Jones wins and holds on to the belt. But I've got Tom either way, because even if Tom wins, Tom ends up being the champ, doesn't he? So
yeah, that is true. Dude, I really would love to have said like fucking Volkov, but sadly, I just know that it's a bit of a stretch to like for him to get there. You know what I'm saying? But depends on how they treat him after. You know, like if they give him anything better or they give him the Tom Aspinall fight, who knows? But it's just one of those tough things where I just kind of believe in my heart that they want to gay ass.
What they can't do is have John Jones sit out and then try and get Tom to do another title defense against Cyril Gane, because that's going to be fucking stupid.
I can't believe you want Hill to beat Yuri. Hill's stupidity is unexcusable, even for a fight. He's just he should technically smoke that dude. It's just not based on like his attitude is whatever. I mean, he's just a confident person that wants to believe in himself, and if he loses that, he loses who he is.
You know what? I used to feel really bad for going back and forth on Twitter years ago, and that wasn't even my fault. But the more and more I think about what he's like with other people on the internet, the more of a dickhead I think he is.
No, it's just he's
Well, he's so defensive. Like, do you know what it is? You're a famous dude. You fight for a living.
Yeah, but
thousands of followers.
All right.
Not everybody's gonna say nice shit to you, man. Just fucking grow up.
You're right. You're 100% right. But you have to put this into perspective. He doesn't know how to be famous. No one, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one really taught him how to do this. He kind of like came out of nowhere. We all thought he was funny. Well, no one ever thought he was ever gonna make it to the top, let alone become a champion. I'll say it right here. I thought Glover was gonna have one of the easiest fights of his career against him.
He won a vacant belt. He didn't fucking.
But you have to understand, like, he's a guy that he's always been the guy that no one ever kind of believed in. So he has that chip on his shoulder. So it's kind of like Corey Anderson. He needs to be like that to be successful, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's kind of like who he is. I let me tell you. I know people like him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you just know when dudes are fighting his own brothers. Dude's fighting his own brother. He's a fucking mess, bro.
But so he explained what happened in that situation. I don't know. I don't want to take sides, but I just know what kind of guy he is. Like, I've met those kind of guys. You know what I'm saying, Ed? And I just know that he just feels like the world's against him, and he just wants to prove the world wrong. You know, type shit.
Is it like a chip on your shoulder? Is that what we have that expression?
It's a forever, it's a forever chip on his shoulder. He's always gonna have a chip on his shoulder, and you know, he's just one of those guys who's like, especially since the Alex stuff, like, it's just, I don't know. He's like,
I just find him weird. He was posting another man's highlight when you got knocked out by that dude. It just makes no sense, man.
Yeah, it's so funny. They were both debating who got beat worse, like, which is hilarious. But
did you see his back and forth with Yuri? That was funny, man.
Yeah, but I mean, it should be a great fight. But stylistically, though, if we're being honest, I think Hill has a bit of an advantage. And Hill's right. The guy is going life and death. All right, he got caught. There's a difference. All right, like, if we would have seen that fight play out a little longer and see who really was the better fighter.
Yeah, knocked out in like 2 minutes though.
But that can be like, oh, I got caught. Like, I mean, it's the same thing with DC versus Stipe, right? He got caught the first fight, right, and then he kind of proved something.
Yeah, I suppose. But yeah, it's just comparing Hill to Stipe is like disrespectful. But that's just
but it's real though.
You can't compare a Corolla to a Rolls Royce. Like, don't do that. Like, Rolls Royce Stipe, muchacho. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, but okay, all right, I'll be fair. But like, no, but the thing is with Hill, like, I understand where he's coming from to a certain degree, where he just, because even like, I'm not gonna lie, like, it's kind of getting to the point where everyone's kind of getting a little too disrespectful to him. So he wants to be like defensive, but at the same time, he shouldn't care what people think.
It's becoming weird now, isn't it? Like, did you see the run-ins that Merab and Arman are having with these fans and stuff? It is getting to a point like that, isn't it? It's getting weird, isn't it? There's like this disconnect between, like, I'm saying fans in quotation marks, but like dudes who follow MMA and like the actual fighters themselves. It's becoming weird, isn't it? Like, my boy Dennis was with Merab at one of the events. I think it was the last pay-per-view of the year, and he got into a punch up with someone as well.
Yeah, well, you gotta understand a lot of these guys like they watch MMA Guru, and MMA Guru is kind of like motivating fans to be disrespectful again with fighters, which I don't have a problem with because every fan base is disrespectful to athletes that lose. You know, MMA is the only one where we've kind of like tried to push back against that because they do make a big sacrifice than a lot like a football player does. But the thing is, you got to realize like, okay, with Hill is like. When you lose like that, you gotta like live with it for 5 months. You can't go back in there. You know what I'm saying? Like he hasn't had the opportunity to get back in there and kind of rectify. So that's all he's had to deal with is, oh, are you still sleeping?
Fighting's different though, isn't it? Like, you know, if you're like a football, like an NFL player, like you lose and you get clowned on the internet, like you're playing a football game the next week. And
he doesn't really get that opportunity, you know?
Same with basketball, whereas like in MMA, like you get knocked out like that. Like you're sat on your phone for 6 months getting like clowned by people.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just like it's kind of tough for him to just take it, you know, because he wants to fight back. Like so, because I know what kind of like what Ed, when I tell you I know that guy, like I know that guy. Like I have friends that are like him that like they can't take an L type shit, you know? Like him, like he took the Paul Craig L with some grace. I'll give him that. He did do that. But this one, he just can't. Like, I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because the fan base or if it's because Paul Craig was early in his career and he didn't get that much hate.
Let's be real, though. He did too much in the build-up. Like, he was snapping the arrow and shit when Paul Tam was walking in.
Yeah.
He came in with that chain at the press conference. He was doing too much, bro. So, of course, people were going to shit on him.
Yeah, it's just, it's just one of those things.
I'm not going to lie, bro. Like, I don't agree with, like, people getting hated, like, or like people speaking about someone to a degree where like it's going to impact their mental health and stuff. But he did a lot, man. He did a lot. Like, go watch that press conference back. You'll see how much he was doing.
Yeah.
I think he got vexed that he got emoted on and got made to look like an idiot. I think that's the only thing.
Yeah, and I think he really wants it back. Like he really wants that one back. Like, which I'm not mad at him for one. It's like that's like, if anything, I think I would want a fighter. Like if I'm training someone to kind of have that attitude, it's just I just don't want him on social media. Like I don't have a problem with him acting like that on interviews or saying how he feels, but like it's just it's the social media stuff I don't get. Like
There's
why are
nothing telling about that fight though. I don't mind rematches. If Dustin hadn't fought for about 2 or 3 times and Dustin got a rematch, I'd be like, cool. The first fight was good. It was really close. Whatever. But seeing a guy get knocked out in 2 minutes isn't competitive. Like,
yeah.
Why do I need to watch that fight again? Like the Yuri one was different because they did it to save a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Again, the Yuri fight, the second fight was a waste of time because you and me both knew he was going to get done worse.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, like I don't know. Like it's just
Tell you what though, 2025 can't go any worse for me than 2024 did in terms of.
Dude, that was so horrible. This year was like a bad year for like some of our fighters. Yeah, the Leon one that hurt me, man.
Leon getting dunked on his head and having to stay up till 6 a.m. They absolutely finessed us, making us stay up that late for that.
Yeah, and the fact that it was against Bilal, bro. Like,
you know what? If he had never fought Bilal before, I wouldn't have had an issue. The fact he fought him the first time stalled on him.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, and people are acting like it doesn't matter. Like, whatever, bro. I'm not finna.
And then Stipe retiring and losing. It's like, I knew he was going to retire, but like I said, when I sent you that photo, at least he didn't go down sad. Like he looked at him and went,
"Yeah,
like a trad."
Yeah. At least, like, it's just one of those weird fights. But like, I think that this year things are gonna clear out. I think the nonsense is gonna. I really do think Bilal's gonna.
We saw some nice fraud checks this year, though.
Yeah, we did. Like Joe Pyfer, that was a big one. I remember.
We saw some nice ones this year. Some very, very good ones. Even the Mike Malott one. People forget the Mike Malott one at the start of the year.
Yeah, I felt bad for him in that one because it's like he was really winning that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never seen someone like fucking like. That's a weird one. Like that was a bit of a fluke. I'm not gonna lie, but like I've never seen someone like just drop a fight like that. You know. I mean,
Absolutely fumbled, you know.
wait, who?
No, Mike Malott then. He absolutely
Yeah.
fumbled that fight.
Jalen Turner kind of got like fraud check this year.
He was always one of those fighters that was just like when he wants to fight, he'll fight. Kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, I think the best fraud check of the year was Marlon Vera. I think he's finally like gone from.
No, that wasn't really a fraud check though, because I feel like everybody with a brain knew that was going to happen.
No, I don't think he got fraud checked against O'Malley. I think he got fraud checked against Figueiredo.
One second, I'll be right back.
Yeah. That one when he lost to Davison, y'all. Oh my God, I've never been more proud of Figueiredo. Dropping him, walking him down. They was talking all this nonsense about, oh, Marlon Vera will break him in the third round. Cheeto 2025 comeback arcs. Never. Hey, Angel. Hey, listen. Don't be surprised if a certain Ricky Simone gets his hands on Cheeto, okay? Don't be surprised, all right? Don't be surprised, young man. Because we might teach him some respect, all right? But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think what's another good fraud check that happened this year. Oh, Kyler Phillips, amazing favorite son. Kyler Phillips losing to Rob Font almost put a tear in my eye. I've never been more proud of Robbie Font ever. You know, ever. What's another one? It's another good fraud check. I'm trying to think. Don't y'all dare say anything about Brendan Allen or Rakic. I don't want to hear nothing. All right. Wasn't Font Yanez? No, I wasn't. Yanez been getting fraud checked lately.
Did you say Font and Yanez, bro? Was that this year? It feels like so long ago.
No, it was last year. That was also an amazing, like, dude, Robbie Font. Don't sleep on Robbie Font.
Daniel Marcus well upset me, you know. Fuck.
Yeah, he
you know what it is like? You know, usually undefeated guys have something like about them. It's a bit like them Basharat brothers, like, but they're so fucking boring to watch.
Yeah, that's Marcos. No, you know what the problem with Adrian Yanez is? He has good boxing, but he doesn't move his head. You know, which is weird. Like he keeps his head on the center line. It's like I don't want to describe it, but he like has good hands. But
I didn't even get to talk to you about my boy Rampage Ramirez, bro. What the knockout?
Yeah.
What a bad boy knockout that was.
That guy Ramirez. Yeah.
I don't see any of your Eritreans knocking schmucks out like that.
Who did he knock out again?
Mickey Gold.
Oh, it was Mickey. Okay, yeah. Okay, I mean, good for him.
Knocked out an American, I might add, FA.
Yeah, no, Mickey is another sad case, man. He had a lot of hype after beating CM Punk, and he beat Sage Northcutt. I thought he was semi-decent because he beat Sage Northcutt at one point.
But do you know when you think about when you've watched the sport for as long as we have, how weird, like, you think about what prospects now are like. It's like a prospect is someone like a Prates, right? But back then it was like a Sage Northcutt or like a Mickey Gold, someone who's really, really green.
Yeah. It's
crazy, isn't it, how green, like, fighters aren't as green now. Like, even someone who's 6-0, they have like real good regional experience. It'll be like they've fought in the LFA or they've won a bout at LFA or they've fought at Cage Warriors or something for 5-6 fights. Whereas like back then, when people were like 10-0, they fought at like 10 different promotions and it was like back alley promotions and all this shit.
Yeah.
It'd be like Bulldog or some shit if you remember.
Yeah, no. Oh my God, eBay's back open. Oh yeah, everything's good, brother. Appreciate you.
I thought that was Gideon for a second. I'm tripping.
Yeah, no, right? But
yeah, like Gideon in the photo, man.
Yeah, but
Gideon not be doing the funny vids anymore, man. He'd be doing them Catch a Predator vids.
Or he's like with God, right? Like he's big on God now or something.
I think he's always been religious, but he has centered his content around like. I think he did. I think one of his channels is like religion and stuff. The other one is like Catching a Predator, kind of like that Vitaly stuff.
Yeah, dude. Have you seen what they've been like? I don't know if you ever seen these other guys that be catching these predators, but they be whooping them. Like,
yeah, man.
beating their ass. Like you know what I'm talking about?
Who was it? One of them got Colby Covington on it, you know. And they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this dude to like knock you out."
No, I ain't talking about Vitalik. I'm talking about I don't know who these guys are, but there was this one video of this dude like they caught like a pedo. It was on October and like smashed his head with a pumpkin. Bro, I thought the guy was dead. He knocked him out.
I've seen that video. I've seen that clip somewhere. That's mad, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, they got to be careful, bro. They might get like fucking arrested.
I was gonna say, can you get arrested for even though they're like pedos and all the rest of it? Can you get like arrested for like randomly doing that shit?
You can't.
It's on camera, right? You can't record yourself doing stuff. That's a bit.
You can't assault somebody, bro. Like you don't. Yeah, you can't just do that. Like I don't know. The only problem is like who's gonna really go after him. You know, like who really cares, type shit.
Yeah.
But
dude, you say that, but even if Cain Velasquez had that case though, even though someone like tried to attack his daughter and all the rest of it, like still put him in cuffs, innit?
Yeah. What about your favorite fighter, Fluffy? Come on, bro. That ain't my favorite fighter. I mean, you know what? Honestly, he's been doing really great. Like, even though I've been hating, I'm not gonna lie. The performance against Mikael Pereira, was pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of enjoyed that one. The way he did.
I've told you, Pereira is like the best 7-minute fighter on the planet. Like he looked good for 7 minutes, like a minute, like a round and a half.
Yeah, but that performance kind of like made me happy because he's like he kind of got away with being overrated. He was on a long win streak, you know. I'll give him that, but he kind of got away with being overrated. A lot of people forgot like he robbed Ponzi. I'll never forget that. And yeah, man, I'm happy Fluffy did it.
The thing is, though, he's not even cutting the extra 15 pounds, so I don't even know what's making him fucking gas like that.
He's just not. I don't know how to describe it, but he's not like it's weird to say he's not well conditioned, but he's just not. He's a really first round or bust kind of guy.
He's just so it's the muscle fibers, isn't it? He's so fast twitch. It's a problem, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that he likes he prioritizes finishes over setups, and
he's got like 40-50 fights though. That's not something you can just fix overnight. Some people just either have really insane cardio.
Yeah, like he just really wants to finish people, you know, like, and that's a really like it's a good habit to have and a bad habit to have sometimes. Like you see, like some guys, it just affects your gas tank. Like you just have that mentality, like, oh, I gotta get out of here, I gotta get out, and then when they're not out of there, it kind of like mentally breaks you down, you know.
Like, there's something about these Brazilians in it that are dangerous for like 2 rounds.
Yeah, like a lot of them don't have cardio. Like
that Burns genetics as well, bro. Like you see the
Burns he has decent cardio. I'll give him like he has decent, but he's more like he needs to be winning, you know.
Yeah.
He can't have a back and forth fight.
Yeah, but Gilbert Burns though, come on, man. The JDM fight, one arm as well, bro. I was so mad because he was this close to full checking Gio Como.
Yeah, he let the whole hood down that day. Yeah,
he let it down, man. Fuck. Yeah. I've never ever picked Gilbert Burns to win a fucking fight, you know. That's what he does.
Yeah.
I think I picked him to beat Masvidal, but I didn't pick him to beat Woodley. I didn't pick him to beat Usman. I didn't pick him to beat Wonderboy. I'm telling you, I've never picked him to win I think Jorge was the only one I picked him to beat. And Jorge had 1 foot out the door.
Yeah.
Never picked him to win a fight, I don't think, since he's been at 170.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, with Gilbert, I think he kind of, I think his prime time was like 34, like, and then he kind of had one great prime left fight in him against Khamzat, but that was it. After that, I felt like he was kind of done, you know, because like you know, like you see guys give their careers in certain fights, you know.
Khamzat fight was it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all he had left, and I think once he got his title shot, he was already kind of old, you know. Like he.
Do you think Dricus in some ways is like a bigger Gilbert Burns?
Yeah, kind of. I just the only difference is that I feel like he's a little more tougher.
Because I've been thinking about how Khamzat and Dricus goes, you know.
Yeah, I know. I think Khamzat can really get him out early, and Dricus can really beat him late. I think that's how you got to look at that fight.
I was thinking that too, but it feels too simplistic to look at that fight, and that fight's a lot more complex than everyone thinks.
Yeah, no, it is. Like I feel you. Like I could see it going different ways, but I just don't know. Like, so we've seen one extended fight from Chimaev. No, 2 extended fights from Chimaev, and it's striking. It's not bad, but it's not that great. Where to the point where I think he can outstrike Dricus on the feet. But Dricus is so weird and wild. And but they like I can see Kamzat trying to get wild with Dricus, you know?
Because the thing is with Dricus though, he's so sloppy and he's like dangling and falling over. I can see Kamzat just jumping on him, and then all it takes is just to wrap up a dance or take the back or something like that.
Yeah,
it's different doing that around. It's different doing that in front of Hamza than it is doing it around Izzy and Rob. Rob won't latch up your neck like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to next year. Fucking Stipe is retired.
Yeah, no, it should be. Yeah, next year should be crazy, but you know, can't wait for it. But hey, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We went on for 2 hours. That is the year-end awards. I don't think we got anything else to talk about, right? Or
now we've covered everything.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Like, comment, share. I promise y'all, I really got a good feeling that after I'm done with my little EMT school stuff, I think I should have more content coming up. But I don't know. But it might be different content. It might not be the same like it used to be, like on a consistent basis. But I'll try to keep the streams going on. Fight Talk will stay on strong for life. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Love y'all and goodbye.